battle for Middle-earth is about to begin.
So it begins.
Send these foul beasts into the abyss!
It's my power.
The great battle of our time.
Welcome to the Zorpazorp Battle Games in Middle-earth livestream. In this series, we cast our gaze back in time to the roots of our beloved Middle-earth strategy battle game to explore the fortnightly magazine serial Battle Games in Middle-earth. Each episode, we will delve into a single issue, poring over a treasure trove of retro gaming, following in-depth painting guides, terrain tutorials, and some crazy battle reports, all with a modern twist so you guys can enjoy them in your games at home. With each installment, we'll also focus on a release of models that accompanied the magazine, following their journey from painting bench to tabletop, and then at the end of every live stream, they'll be randomly assigned to one of our loyal Patreons to continue their days of gaming abroad, spreading the gospel of Zorpazorp. So, in the immortal words of the magazine itself, let battle commence. Welcome to Zorpazorp Gaming, my name's Lachlan Linton Keane, and welcome to the, I want to say, 18th installment of the Battle Games in Middle-earth livestream. Welcome to everyone who's joining us from all around the world. I must say, I'm a little flat-footed here because I got caught up watching my own intro. It's all very exciting, it does hype you up. I can see why you guys get so amped as I roll it. And then I realized there was a delay and I was like, switch! So yes, welcome. We've got a wicked issue today, and we're doing something that I hate, or I used to hate, and I used to suck at, and that is painting horses. We have got 8 horses that we're going to be painting today. We're going to look at a range of different schemes and colours, and then we've also got an awesome minigame. Oh, that was the other thing I was supposed to do. Get the minigame board out. I'll do that later. And we're going to have a wicked Gandalf versus Saruman minigame, which is going to be really interesting because it is all about you guys in the chat against me. Essentially, it's one player, me in one case, is going to be Gandalf. And the other player, which is going to be you guys, is going to be Saruman, and then you take turns kind of performing different moves. It's like a mini-game. It doesn't use the normal SBG rules, but you have to both secretly select moves before you reveal them. Now, obviously, I can't play both sides of that like I do with a normal battle report, and I always get you guys to kind of give me advice and whatever, but this time it is going to be like, you're in full control, because I can't know what you're going to do. So we're going to do a cool little thing. Well, I'll select mine secretly, and then you guys in the chat will select yours, and shout out things at me, and then I'll reveal mine and we'll resolve them, and we can see if Gandalf the Grey or Saruman the White can take control of Orthanc. It's a really... Yes! Yeah, GBHL Damien is screaming slam, whack, bang in the chat, which are 3 of the special moves available, so that's going to be pretty sweet. We have, yeah, like I said before, horse painting is our primary goal today, and we're going to be doing some interesting colours. I'm going to be using the guides that are in this bad boy, as well as some extra guides from some extra special friends, who are much more talented than me, Mr. James over at Brushstroke, of course, and his incredible horsey guides we'll be relying on, and also I'm just going to make some stuff up as we go. Because I like to wing it. Oh goodness, we got lots of us joining us all around the world. So shout out from where you're watching. I'll come and hang in the chat for a second, of which there's already way too many messages to catch up on. That's good. And yes, we are painting white horses. We're painting 3, actually. We're doing 3 variations of white because you guys all voted for it. I threw a poll up on our Zorpazorp community Facebook page to see what kind of colours you guys wanted. And then I ignored the poll completely and just chose what I wanted to paint. But conveniently, the results that I chose lined up with what you guys voted for. So that was good because it made me not look like a fraud. But if that hadn't been the case, that I would have just ignored you anyway. So yes, I picked all the cool things you wanted me to paint. We got some wicked stuff too. We got, whites, greys, dark browns, light browns, and then we've got some cool shit. Oh, and black as well. We're going to do some Appaloosa, we're going to do some Pinto, we're going to do some tan roan, some interesting stuff that you don't see all the time. And then it's not just about flesh color, it's also about like the different socks, their facial colors. Also, if you're joining the stream for the first time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, because this is the first time, this is the intro, and I'm supposed to have done this. This is Battle Games of Middle-earth. This is a live stream series where we dive through the old retro magazines from the early 2000s. These were released at the foundation, at the beginning of our Middle-earth strategy battle game, or then the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. They came out alongside the movies, or in preamble to, with some of them, and each fortnightly issue would have guides on how to paint, how to build stuff, how to play some games, and more importantly, they'd come with some models. And then what we're doing is each fortnightly issue of this stream, we go through one of the magazines, we paint up whatever came with it, and then my Patreons get the chance to win those models and become the official sponsor of our live stream models and track their journey through the campaign. So we're painting up some lovely horses who will have their matching pair next fortnight as we paint up the riders. But I'm actually doing 8 horses today so that we can do Eomer's horse and potentially maybe Theoden's horse as well, which is going to be cool. So we're sort of getting all our horses done for a while so that we don't have to watch it all 5 times. So it's all about horses. Let's see where everyone's joining us. Joel says he's painting horses today as well. He is ready. Excellent work. Amandil's joining us. Oh, Vilua. That's a cool name. Is that your actual name, a Slavic root perhaps, or is it meant to be Elvish? Very cool. Pat Bloke is joining us. Poppy Appletree is back as always. We've got James Palmer joining us from the UK. Zorpazorp's joining us. Thank you, Zorpazorp. Lovely to see you in the chat for once. Johnny Russell's watching from Scotland. Joshi Summers says, My Govanen, Joshi. We've got Jose watching from Spain. Damien says he's painting dogs at the moment, which are basically just small horses. Indeed, except they go woof. We've got Paplokas watching from Poland. Declan's watching from New Zealand. Morning, Declan. How's uni going? Maito Colo's joined us. Niall, you haven't seen you in a while. Niall, can still say your name. Good to see you back, dude. Daniel's joining us, and he's building and painting Balin's tomb after we did that in our live stream a couple ago. Sam says, no, I'm late. No, you're not late. You haven't missed anything. I'm just rambling. Josh Summers says, make sure you search Zorpazorp. Make sure you join the Zorpazorp group on Facebook, and I'll get Joshy to post up our thread. Joshy's my little live stream assistant and page moderator. So if you're painting along any horses, if you're painting up any models, anything, post them up in that thread that Joshy will link to the top of the page. And then I can jump in midway through the chat and have a look at everything you guys are doing, because I just love checking out what you're painting. Matthew says, love of my life, don't leave me. Bit of a Queen reference. Tommy Marshall's joining us, our newest member of the Patreon family. Jazz Payne says, wish I could work on stuff, but I have to work. At least you can listen to the stream while you work and make make work much more bearable. We've got Jose says, I bought the original boxes all at the film. Yeah. He bought all these magazines alongside the films, all the box sets as well. Mitocolo screams death in memory of our beloved former gambling. We can have a chat about all that too. I haven't really given my thoughts publicly. I did for a bit and then I retracted them because I misread something. Sort of. Yeah, more to that, but anyway. Keely is joining us. Amandil, I've already read you until you get 2 good mornings. Aaron's joining us, and 50,000 people just messaged in the chat, which made it reset. Excellent. Mandalore's watching from Michigan. Carl from England. Darren, of course. Dazza watching from Ireland. We've got Rolleston in New Zealand. I love Rolleston. I've driven through there lots of times, Aaron. Paulie Carroll from Ireland. I think I haven't missed anyone. Oh, we've got the United States, or the United Stays. Adrian's watching from Tejak from Germany. Levo from Oklahoma in the USA. Wolf's watching from Heidelberg. Chicago, Illinois. 5 p.m. over there for Kevin. Joel's in London, England. Poppy Appletree says, if I paint a bear like you paint your horses, will I be able to leave it at the stables? Only if it's in a separate stall. We don't want to lose any of our precious horses. Peck is watching from Belgium. Marky Tribe is watching from Toowoomba. Good luck, yeah, white horse boys, good luck. We're paying 3 white horses today, so give us some extra good luck. Alright, I think I've caught back up to the top now. Peck from Belgium, Ricky from the Isle of Wight in England, very cool. I haven't been over to the Isle of Wight, almost got over there, but then we changed our plans at the last minute. We spent too long in Lake District. We've got Wolf watching from Heidelberg in Germany. So many people from all around the world. Not a single Australian in. They're all still in bed. They'll join us later. Those lazy bastards. We've got... Okay, here we go. I've got a tongue twister with my almost full location, says Paplok. It's in Poland. I can say Poland. Let's go... Jankowice? No, because W, Proto-Germanic, right? So that W would be a V in Polish. Oh, actually, is Polish... Polish might not be a Germanic language. I can't remember. It could be... Oh, it's too hard, man. I'm going to say Jankowice Rybniki in Poland. Let me know if I got it even close. Jairo Gonzalez Arroyo, welcome, one of our Patreon family as well. He's delivering an important message to the people, which is remember to put the thumbs up. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. I don't know how. You wouldn't be. If you're watching this as an introduction to the channel, buckle up. It's going to be wild. We've got... Alright, I think I'm everyone. Yeah, Niall says he remembered, of course. Chris James is watching from Maryland. James Palmer says, show Firefoot and Snowmane some love. Snowmane is getting painted today. Absolutely. And I can't remember what colour Firefoot actually is off the top of my head, but we're painting like a horse of every shade, so we can just give the white one to Aomer. Josh says, who do you think you're married to? The thread was there before the stream even started. Thank you, Joshy. James said, so is it time to mention gambling yet? A time will come, for sure. The first live stream from New Jersey, the 8th deadly sin, scary name, but welcome. Adrian's watching from Lowestoft in the UK. Clint from Western Canada. Nathan Talbot says, I've painted a bunch of Army of the Dead this week. Now ready for some tips to get more Rohirrim done. Yeah, that's the name of the day today, is speed. We're speed painting these horses. I hate painting, often... most people play armies where they take like 30 Rohirrim. They don't all take 12 like me, plus heroes. So I think it's gonna be important to get them done quickly, which is what here we go. Oh, Paklok's got Yankovic Rybni. Okay, well, okay, cool. Yeah, so the W is pronounced like a V and the J is pronounced like a Y. I should have known that. That was stupid. Okay, so Jankowice Rybnickie. Okay, cool. Yeah, I love Polish. It's so cool. Did a bunch of pintos and interesting sockies. Yes, I'll definitely be doing some pintos and interesting sockies. Damien says he's tuning in from my folks' house for the first time ever. They think this is all mental. Good evening to Damien's parents. Hello. I'm his love affair from Australia. Don't tell Emma. Firefoot is... oh, that's right. Grey with slight dapple. Of course. Good attempt. I'd know what you're talking about if you asked me for directions or something. Yeah, good. Excellent. Mandalore, now that's a horse of a different color. Yes, we're doing some cool, like, I'll show you guys some photos actually, so we can we can get, all happening. Let's see if I can switch this up. Now, I'm super prepared. Let's close that source. What I'll do is I've got some wicked guides here from Brushstroke, and I've also collected some resource images. So we're going to have a look at that. I'm just going to throw an image in so you guys can be happy. So this is one of the schemes that James has got over at Brushstroke. We're going to look through a couple of these. Make sure you guys head over and check out James's YouTube channel. I've linked it in the description below. James from Brushstroke he's a fucked up good painter. He's so good. And he does really great guides as well. You may have even seen some of his work. I features on Warhammer Community a fair bit. And I believe he's even got one of his dioramas for the Army of the Dead. I'm pretty sure that's in the Army's book as the banner picture for the Army of the Dead. So very cool. Now let's see if I can get this happening. Alright, we'll go back to me for a sec. Nothing like adding inputs on the fly, because I forgot to do this. Let's see if I want... where's desktop capture? There we go. Is this going to work? My local desktop capture, you stupid thing. Display 1. Oh, yeah, it works. Okay, so if I switch... Yeah, okay, cool. So, we're going to switch to desktop capture, and look, we're going to create an infinity spiral. This is my VMix console, everyone. Very exciting stuff. And we are going to have a look at some guides, because now I can scroll through them all manually. So you guys should be seeing what I'm seeing. Let me quickly Alt-Tab. Is that working? Yes, it's working. Okay, so this is our white scheme, and we've got this is a really classic approach to white, which is like priming white, which I prime white for all of them, and then he does some like recess shading, or he layers in a base coat first, and then does some recess shading, and then some highlights, whereas I'm going to try a lazier method first, using some shades and things, so we'll have a look at that. Then we're going to have a look at some grey, and do the whole kind of... layer up some nice greys. I'm going to work from a grey prime, then we'll bring in some Agrax Earth shades as our recess shade, and then do some highlights with a lighter grey, just like really classic stuff, getting in our depth with our either recess shading or all over washes, and then bringing in some highlights. We're doing a different approach to our tan. We could have a look at doing a dapple if you guys wanted to, otherwise we can just do a classic grey, but I've got a grey mini ready to go. So I mean, it's basically the same where you apply your highlights with like a kind of take thinned paint and then stipple it on, which could be pretty cool. We'll have a look at some light dapple. We're going to have a look at black. We're going to use the contrast paint for our black and then bring in some classic layering. That's a gorgeous Khandish model. I wish we were painting some Khandish horses today, but none of mine are assembled. And we've got to paint Rohan anyway. What else are we having a look at? We're looking at, we'll look at some light grey. We're going to look at a dark brown and then like a chestnut brown. So this is my classic go-to Rohan paint job. Let me just grab my phone. Awesome. Looking good. So this is where you know base. This is like old school Lockie, right? Where we base everything in scorched brown, or Rhinox hide as it's called now. We wash it with Agrax Earthshade, and then we bring in like bestial brown or dark flesh tone, and just do a layer, and then I'm like done, sick. So that's like our classic look with like the dark hair and everything. So I'm a master at painting this. And then the lighter brown scheme, the chestnut scheme, is exactly the same. But you start with a lighter brown, wash with Agrax, and then do a slightly lighter brown. So this is how I painted my Rohan horses for years. And then we're going to have a look at some Pinto. So this is Pinto. This is like the brown and white coloring. So essentially we'll paint the horse completely white first. And then we'll bring in our chestnut scheme. And we'll basically do that same paint job and over the top, which will be cool. Here's some photos of Chestnut, words, Lockie. So here we go. Here's another photo of Pinto, so we can see those really broad kind of patterns. So it's nice dark browns mixed with that beautiful white. Such beautiful horses. And then, is that our final one? So then, have I got any more Pinto shots? And then we've got Appaloosa, right? This is, I suppose this is Appaloosa because of the dot patterning. So these are our kind of Appaloosa paint jobs. They're like Dalmatians, but in blacks or browns. So what we're probably going to do is a blend of a darker brown with some black and really dark brown Dalmatian patterns. I don't know why I'm showing you guys all of these, because now I'm committed, and if I don't get time to do them, it can make me look stupid. But I wanted to show you guys a hint of what we will try. It shouldn't be too hard. It shouldn't be too hard to get them all done. And then the final thing is like a Sabino or a tan roan. So this is like that really kind of lighter color. I really like this flesh tone, but I also really love the darkened ankles of this horse. So we're going to have a look at that kind of coloring. And this is like my favorite ever, because it's Prime and Wraithbone, Skeleton Horde, Overbrush, Highlight. It's great. So that is what we're looking at doing there. Let's swing on back to VMix. Oh, look, you can see behind the curtain. Boom, now I'm back. Excellent work. I've got my Word document, because I've planned out all of my schemes here. White, Appaloosa, Pinto, black, grey, dark brown, chestnut, tan, Palomino, and then Pinto and Appaloosa. So, yeah. Gonna be really cool. Gonna be really, really cool. Well, a lot of you have joined. Damien says, Emma heard that. Absolute scenes. Good evening, Emma. Cool. So there we go. I think that's us caught up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to swing around the camera, and we're going to have a look at our magazines. We're going to see what their guides say, and then I'll kind of throw back to this as required when we need to kind of have a look at stuff. And I think that's pretty much it. So let me just get my holding screen back instead of that desktop capture. That one there. I'll move the camera and I'll be back in just a minute, and we'll get cracking on painting some horses. Let's go, guys. Boom! We are back. So, as always, as I've swung around to the new camera setup, this is the setup we had last week, which you guys really liked, because you seem to get a nice kind of good angle and clear audio. Let me know if my voice is too loud, music's too loud, all of that kind of stuff. Now, you might be sitting here and thinking, "Ooh, if I flip that up, I can see what the hell you guys are seeing." Where's my screen? Oh, there it is. You might be sitting here thinking, "Why, oh why, Lockie, do you have two magazines sitting on this desk?" And it's an important question. But we nearly got stitched up, ladies and gentlemen, because I usually give the magazine a flick through before we go live. And check this out. Is this the right one? It is. So we have issue 13, right? It's all about the Riders of Rohan. Very exciting. Very exciting. The lands of the Riddermark makes sense. And now we're learning about some battlefield tactics. And we're talking about knowing our enemy, the priority phase, and then suddenly we're talking about will. And we're learning about magical powers. Okay, it's a bit different. And now we've got the Clash of Wills battle report that we've already played. And we have, all this advice on ring wraiths and Gandalf. Nothing to do with this issue. A painting guide for Gandalf. And the Hilltop Ruin that we already made. And then making a barrel and making a crate. Now, I thought this was a little odd, so luckily I have 2 of these magazines, and this issue is basically the front and back cover and first page of issue 13, and then the middle of it is issue 12 again. So a pretty hardcore misprint, and you'd be pretty bummed out if you got that back in 2002, you know, there's no way to get another one very quickly. But luckily, we have issue 13, the correct version today. The Lands of the Riddermark, and then here we go. We can see it's looking a bit nicer now. We've got some stuff, so we've actually got a fair bit of interesting stuff to have a look at in terms of this magazine. So let's I'm gonna swing in a bit closer for you guys. There we go. That looks. I got like that. That's a terrible angle. Get my painting pot out of the way. I'm just gonna move the camera. It's easier. Alrighty, Roo. Oh, someone says, who was it? Aaron says, I had this problem back in the day. There you go. Maybe I've got your magazine, Aaron. You never know. Alright, let's have a look. So, battlefield tactics. We're starting to learn about some more interesting stuff. Let's have a look. In the priority phase, obviously there's no way to affect that dice roll. Sometimes it's better to lose that roll and go second, because then you can respond. So basically that's hope you get the right dice roll. That's always good advice. Thank you, Games Workshop. But the move phase, they have some more stuff. They've got, if you are charging, you try to surround your enemy in order to trap them. So they're talking about 3-point traps. That's obviously, you know, fantastic, and you get to stop them from moving as well. If you want to avoid combat, either because you're clearly outmatched or because you want to shoot, try to keep a distance from the enemy. Oh, there you go. Double their move value. This is because if the opponent wins priority next turn, then they're going to be able to get that charge off. So keeping away over twice, this is some solid gold here. Without priority, this gives you the chance to observe your opponent's moves first and then react and kind of go in for some extra charges. This is, yeah, incredible tactics here. Nothing phenomenally obvious. Let's have a look at the shoot phase, though. Can be a good idea to take out enemy archers if you've got priority so that they can't shoot back. Again, amazing advice. Kill or be killed. Look at these incredible diagrams. The Wood Elves have annihilated some goblins here. Yeah, this is high level stuff. Now, courage might be interesting. The most common circumstance in which courage affects a game is when half your models have been killed. So these were the old courage rules, of course, when you just fled, you sort of like, you know, literally retreated to a board edge. At this critical point, good armies have a small chance of continuing a fight on the account of their superior courage value. It takes longer for evil players to reach the breaking point because they've usually got more models, but once they do, it's pretty bad. It's very true indeed. So elves and things will stay around, goblins a lot less much. That was good English. Using weapons, yeah, obviously they're talking about supporting, spears and pikes, heroes, might points, heroic actions. Yeah, I mean, it's not the most in-depth tactica, I will admit. And then we have the Wizard's Duel, which we're going to be playing at the end of the stream. So this is where we play out some phenomenal stuff. They go through the rules, and check this out. So this is the Tower of Orthanc, and then we'll have Gandalf and Saruman, and they sort of push each other around, and I think they have to push each other off the board to win, or something. It's been ages since I watched Damon's stream, and I haven't played it before, so it's pretty simple though. You basically have to each select an attack. I think the attacks are identical, so there's like literally no difference between the two wizards. They're identical. It's just that you know, whichever ones we choose. So you guys are going to be playing as Saruman, and I'm going to be Gandalf. Maybe I'll let you guys vote. You guys can vote for who you want to be. Exciting stuff. You have full control here on Zorpazorp, and then we have their horse painting guide. So they talk basically, they don't show a particular scheme, they just talk about techniques. So, you know, using dry brushing to pick out the mane, you can shade by, you know, getting watered down paints or shades and mixing those into the recesses, highlighting, so picking out the raised areas in a brighter color. So these are all the techniques we're going to be using across our different schemes. And then we've got kind of more interesting things like the markings and things. So this is like, they've got different suggestions on colors of hooves or different types of socks, and then the faces of the horses as well. This is something I never do. I think it's because the horses all have horse armor. so I never really bother with that. But sometimes a little bit of stuff around the mouth is good as well. And then the limbs can have different kind of markings. You can do different types of socks, patterns, stockings, legs. So there's lots of cool stuff that you can look at. We're going to be mostly focusing on flesh tones today, but we'll have a look at that stuff as well. I'll let you guys kind of let me know. And then they've got some kind of more boring, simple, terrainy stuff, which we won't be looking at today. We're going to check that out at a later date. So, exciting stuff. Yeah, James says we are counting on your experience with Damien to guide us to victory. Indeed, it's gonna be absolutely mental. Poppy says those old retreat rules were so silly. They were a bit wild, I will admit. They're quite fun in a skirmish setting with like 10 models each, but it's a nightmare when you've got 100. So, how do we begin? Well, we begin with primers. That's how we begin. So, we're going to be priming with a range of different stuff today. Chaos Black, Standard Mechanicus Grey, the White Primer, and Wraithbone. And sometimes I'll use the lighter grey as well, but mostly these four. So, I tell you what, why don't, well, I'm going to let you guys pick what scheme we start with today. So, what do you guys want to see up first? Do you want to start with whites? Do you want to start with blacks? Because they're all fairly similar in process, so it doesn't matter what order I do them. So, shout out in the chat what you'd like me to look. Black horses, white horses, grey horses, brown, light brown, dark brown, and we've got all sorts of horsies at our disposal. And you can see here we've got the Metal Theoden on Snowman, which I've been needing to paint up for ages, so I thought I'd at least get his horse started. So he's going to be our pure white horse. And then I've got a couple of white horses ready to go, which will start off as white, and then we'll turn into something else if we get time. We'll go some Pinto and Appaloosa on them. Then I've got a Wraithbone horse, which will be the beginning of our tan roan. And then I've got a dark grey, which we're going to blend up to be one of our grey horses, I think. Yes. Oh no, that's going to be a black horse with some Black Templar. That's right. And this is going to be our grey horse, our light grey horse. And then we have black, which is going to go for dark brown. And then I've pre-primed this. And by I've pre-primed, I mean it's a second-hand model that already came painted brown. And this is going to be the starting point for our lighter brown horse. So there's our 8 horses on the menu today. Let's see what we are screaming for. We've got... oh, okay, right, I'm going to have to start counting here. Oh, we've got... Rich has asked a question about Arnold. We'll come back to that in a sec. Papalik says, is the stream lagging for anybody else? Stuttering every couple of minutes or so? Is it vocally stuttering or just kind of like lagging? Like, you know, catching and going to buffer? Let me know. I'll have a look. So we've got grey, tan, pinto, black horse, grey, brown, white, grey. Oh, wow. Brown. Okay, sounds like we're starting with browns. Oh, white's made a comeback. All right, looks like we're going with browns, greys, and whites are going to be our starting point. So let's go with... we'll start... Well, I tell you, seeing as we had some votes for black as well, we'll go for our grey-black family. So I'll throw over our little horses over to the side here. I'm going to grab my wet palette. I'm going to swing this in a little bit closer. So if I'm painting here, you guys will be able to see nicely. So that's my center point. So let's start with our black horse, which works up from a grey prime, because we need to get a contrast layer down on that. And that is, of course, going to be Black Templar. So we're going to be digging to find Black Templar. So there's our Black Templar. And then what we're going to do is layer that with a blended series of highlights. Using kind of darker greys that I'm going to make. I'm going to mix in the wet palette from a Baden Black and Stonewall Grey, which is just like a neutral grey. It's the old Fortress Grey or Administratum Grey in the new GW. So let's just get a quick coat down. So this is just Standard Mechanicus, a dark grey all over that using the primer. And the reason I've gone for such a dark grey underneath the Black Templar, usually, you know, you're advised to use Grey Seer or Wraithbone for these contrast paints, right? But I like using the darker colours when I want it to be really subtle. And because we're painting flesh, I hate it when the transitions are really contrasty. So I like the contrast effect, but I mute it back a little bit by putting down a much darker prime. And so we'll still get a really subtle variation, but effectively it's like we've got a black base coat with just a little bit of that cool contrasty variation on the highest points. So as always, with contrast, we need to make sure that it goes down evenly and sort of, you know, dries. Horses are tricky for contrast because they're all big, large areas, and you sort of need to get any one area of contrast dry before moving on to the next. But the whole horse is just one region of skin, so you kind of got to like go quickly and like lock off limbs at a time. And he's like, all right, that leg's completely done. Move on to that part. Blah 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 blah. And there is the saddle kind of does break it up a little bit, which gives you a little bit of help. Is everyone happy with my audio? I don't think no one is complaining, so that's always a good sign. Just make sure, you know, my if you need any volume adjusted or anything. And am I painting on camera? Look at that. Look at that. It's not my first live stream. I'm not particularly worried about like the saddle and stuff. I'm sort of, you know, lazily avoiding it, but if I go over, it doesn't matter. That would all be primed. With saddle colors, which we're probably not going to look at today. Leather and things. We've covered leather lots on the channel. But we could do what we could do is cover that leather stuff next week when we're painting the leather of the rider. But we'll see. We'll see how much time we have. I really want to focus on getting you guys like I'd rather do more variation of horse flesh tones than get caught up painting all the different saddles and things. Especially as I'm woefully prepared to paint the saddles, which means all of the saddle colors will just end up being very similar, so it won't even be that exciting. But if anyone's desperate to see like 1 or 2 saddle methods, we might be able to do that. We'll see how much time we have. Alright, so that is going down nicely. You can see it's starting to separate already. Get in and around. I am trying to avoid the hair. Because we might do something, we might leave that hair dark grey and then like wash it with Agrax Earthshade and then dry brush it for like a kind of really dirty grey look, which could be interesting. Plus it's a good starting point having our hair lighter anyway. You don't want to be working from the same base coat for your hair, because then it's just a really cheap and easy way to already start from a different place, so guarantee the hair's going to pop because it will look different. Again, don't worry about these straps, just focus on getting good coverage of the skin. Pick the straps out later. And this is where the contrast really excels, like in and around that horse face, it already looks bloody amazing because there's so much detail there to kind of work around. These broader flat surfaces, it's not as great, which is why I've used the darker prime. Okay, cool. So that is our black prime down. I think we've got good coverage with the contrast everywhere. Wow! Through my brush. There's one little area here behind that ankle. I'm going to leave the hooves, that dark grey prime as well, and we'll work up something for them from that kind of region. All right, there we go. Yes, it looks like the contrast is starting to really separate now on those on the flesh tone as well. Should be using my painting handle, but I thought for such a quick prime I wouldn't bother. Okay, cool. So that's our prime down on him. So we'll put that to the side. Put that scheme to the side, and we're going to start working on our light grey. So let's swing over to our let's swing over to our guide from Mr. Brushstroke and have a look at how he approaches light grey. Which one? Dapple. So, he's got basically prime white, and then base coated administratum grey. So that is effectively what we've done. This is another second-hand model that came kind of pre-primed grey. So I was like, wicked, I'll just work with that. And then we've got basically, I'm like spinning the model, showing you guys on camera, but you're looking at the shoot. Good work, Lockie. So I've done that already, and then he's basically got a really simple approach, which is recess shading the skin with a darker grey, and then lightening that up with a kind of a lighter grey overbrush. So this is where you take a darker grey and deliberately paint it into the recesses, and then kind of blend that with highlights on the lighter regions of the skin. So he's using 3 grey, so he's got a deep dark grey. So let's spin over. Now the other method, of course, is you can throw down some washes instead of doing the recess shading. But we're going to be using a lot of washes on the other scheme, so this might be a fun kind of thing to try. Because I really very rarely do recess shading. So it's going to be an interesting little kind of vibe here. So I've got kind of my 3 kind of classic greys. They're all Vallejo, Stonewall, Heavy Blue Grey, and Ghost Grey. Now let's have a look here, because we're kind of mixing on the fly. We're going to see what colour is suitable. And look, the thing that I think is really important, and it's something that Games Workshop love, is they kind of instill this thing in everyone that you need to have a paint pot of every colour, and that, you know, you got to paint this step with this colour and this step with this colour. Like, just mix your paints. If you don't have a colour, just get 2 colours and whack it together. And mix it. So I don't have those exact greys, but I'm just gonna like throw down some different shades of grey, and find a dark grey, drop in a bit of black, drop in a bit of white, and find some stuff that works. Someone asked in the chat, I saw the question but I forgot the name, do I use agitators in my paint pots? No, but I absolutely should. I've been meaning to buy them for Fruit Looping years, so I want a decent consistency here. That's why I'm shaking the crap out of it. Whereas that first bit was a bit too thin. So that's my darker grey, that's my heavy blue grey. Now we can see, if I take a little bit of that off my wet palette, and if I throw that in a recess, is it going to be dark enough? It's actually very in fact, it's almost like a perfect muted highlight to this. It's very, very close to the actual grey. So what I'm going to do then is just grab a bit of a Baden Black and mix that into that grey to darken it up and give me a darker grey. See if you guys can see the wet palette. Throw some black in. Might put a little bit more of the grey in, so it's probably a little dark. So yeah, so there we go. That's about the grey we want. And now what we're going to come in is load up our brush. We don't want too much on, and it's important that this is a little bit thinned as well. Obviously it's on my wet palette. Now I wonder if that's too dark now. We shall see, I think. Here's a really obvious recess. Whoop. Good slip. The great thing with recess shading is if you screw it up, you can always just blend it back in by bringing in a wet brush. And that always looks quite good. This is quite fun for me, because I literally never do recess shading, or like targeted recess layers. I always do washes. Yeah, I think this grey looks good. There's good contrast here, which is kind of what we want from these recess shades. And we can always blend them back in with like re-establishing the midtones. So targeting, yeah, any kind of deep recess in the model. There's a really subtle one. It's almost like, yeah, you're drawing around the muscles. You know, when we're highlighting, we're so used to drawing onto the darkest part. Oh, this is some great coverage from whoever primed this. Should have checked that. It's terrible. It's okay. We're just illustrating our point here. Yeah, we're so used to drawing over the highlights of a model, it feels kind of alien to be drawing into the creases. Alright, let's get... There's a beautiful big recess there. Bring in my wet brush. Clean up all the mess I just made. And that kind of blends it as well, which works quite well. Oh, here we go. We've got an awesome little tip here from Rich Truscott. He says, a tip from growing up on a horse ranch, the lower belly near their special bits tend to be a lighter highlighted area on any color of the horse. Oh wow, that's cool. So up near the groin of the rear legs, essentially, Rich. That is crazy. Samuel says, Middle-earth streams, the great entertainment where you get to watch an Australian's hands for several hours. Indeed, indeed. Alright, everyone's talking about seeing each other in real life. There was a question that someone asked. So they're talking about... Papaloke asked about if you're painting with pewter, what primers would you use? Yeah, so if I'm painting metal models, I don't use the Games Workshop primers because they don't have enough of a strong bond and they're more likely to chip. So I use the Tamiya primers that are designed for metal. They've just got more adhesion in them. Here's one right here, actually. So this is my white. This is a fine surface primer, which is why Theoden is primed in that one, although I want him to be white. So I also have a grey one of those. And then if you want a particular colour, you just prime it first with that prime and then put the GW prime down over the top. I mean, they're primers. They're going to be super thin anyway. So good question. Oh, and someone asked about Arnold before, didn't they? Yeah, if you guys want, if you're trying to target me with a direct question, just like tag at Zorpazorp, because then it shows up in a colour. And it's more likely that I'll see it in between painting layers. I try to catch up with the chat at some point too, but if I do miss you, just ask it again. Someone's talking about the FAQ, which we'll get to, we'll have a chat about that. But then of course there is, what am I doing? That's my overbrushing brush and I'm painting it, loading that up with the paint. Someone asked about the Arnold range. So yeah, the Arnold range is discontinued. Basically, the Lord of the Rings range and the warehouse in general has a limit on SKU codes. So how many models are available in the range. Arnor have just been picked as the range to be rotated out. They will come back. We don't know when. It could be a couple of years. The Mahud have experienced the same. So basically, we're probably not going to see them back until we get a supplement about them. So, you know, originally people were like, oh, maybe it's because the supplement's just around the corner. They're pulling them away. But I think it's just more likely that they're probably so far away that they're not really worried about them. And they know that they're not a particularly well-played army. I'm just doing a few little base coats and blends of this lighter grey to kind of fix up this atrocious prime, which I should have checked. There we go. Alright, this is why you always have a bit of paint of everything on your palette, you know. So now coming back in with the darker grey, working into the recess. Again, I'm not worried about the saddle right now. I can fix that later. So I'm just going to work this darker grey into that edge around the saddle. Thin paints is the name of the game here, to get them to blend really well. And then I kind of just, like, I'm literally wet blending here. If I've gone too much into the lighter grey, I'll just get another brush in and thin out the dark grey, bring in some more light grey, like, you know, really blend it together. There's another recess there. There's a recess there. So you're getting the idea anyway. On the back of the legs. I'm going to make that a little broader. We'll get some in and around here. Yeah, you can. It's the once this darker grey is drying, it's actually, because I've got it so thin now, it's blending really nicely. So I'm kind of coming in and kind of thickening up a little bit and using it to create a little bit more emphasis. Blending it back in on this larger bit. Let's clear that. Beautiful. Oh, there's a big muscle seam there at the back that we want to do. Yeah, so as always, if you're looking for these guides, they're all linked down in the description below. As I said, that I just had like this horror moment that I had left the guide up this whole time. We're good, we're good. And again, if these recesses are too thick, don't worry, because of course we're going to come back in and apply our highlights, so it's nothing to worry about. It's more in there, more in there, more under that. And paint, just put a little thin kind of coating of the darker grey underneath, just to create a little bit more shadow there. Cool. You can see how it's like really starting to get quite cool and defined, even though this is a fairly rushed paint job anyway. So now I'm just bringing in some of that pure grey that hasn't been mixed with the dark brown, and I'm just blending over all of the regions, making sure the prime is good. And anywhere I've got too much of that darker grey, I can just, you know, work up to the edge of it and blend it in. So this is a great example here in this little piece of muscle. And this, you know, it's a bit dark there, so just come and blend the edge of it with some of the lighter grey, but leaving the darker colour in the deep recess. And this is very thin as well, so it just helps it all blend together really nicely. And I'm not applying it completely uniformly over the hind of the horse. Fuck, man, I haven't painted horses in so long. I love painting horses. They're so cool. My grandpa actually paints phenomenal horses. As an artist, not a miniature painter. Let's see if I can find a photo of his work. He's a freak at painting horses. He's like a photorealist, acrylic artist. Clearly provides some of the artistic genes from the family, that's for sure. He's amazing. He's a maritime artist, believe it or not. So he paints boats. So his whole life he's made a career out of painting boats, which is pretty remarkable. He's one of the more renowned maritime artists in the world. He's very famous in his very, very niche field. He'll probably be on the channel at some point. I've got like a little doco to do on him that I've been planning for ages. It'd be so fun to like make him paint a miniature. That'd be fun. I don't know if he'd be up for it. See if he can use his like oil paint style on a little Warhammer model. That'd be pretty cool. Alright, so there's our midtones. So you can see we've left that darkest grey in the recesses, and I've just got this sort of re-blended those, so it's now really subtle. And then what we do is we bring in a lighter grey. Celestra grey, I think is the one that James recommends on brushstroke. But I'm just going to be using my kind of neutral lighter grey, which is like Administratum grey, which is Stonewall grey from Vallejo. Again, drop it straight down on the wet palette, kind of draw it out across the moist area of the palette so it is nice and thin. You still want to have like lots of paint in the reservoir, but we don't want it to be too insane. And then we're just bringing this in, you know, on the lightest bit. So we're doing that classic highlight now. That's still too thick, Lockie. And accenting those muscles. I have to actually add some Lamy and medium to this. This might be too opaque. We'll see. I might be able to get away with it. I'm sort of working in to the muscle tones where it's even a little bit damp, so we're almost wet blending at this point. I'm trying to add a really thin layer to just help define the tops of the muscles. And this technique, you know, of bringing in and accenting the muscles with the lighter color and stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of this today. As we, you know, we're mixing up our tones and things, but a lot of the techniques we use are similar. But then each color has its own little, or each kind of flavor of breed has its own little quirks with the way you want to highlight the muscles and things. Yeah, this is good. This is blending nicely. Just accenting all the raised areas, leaving the mid-tone in the broader sections, the dark in the dark. I'm almost overbrushing in the way I'm highlighting. Just gotta be careful that you don't make, like, you don't want it to look chalky. Just get a little bit more on the brush for this wet region. This is very wet with the light grey, so I'm really able to properly wet blend here. And then we get to like some tricky regions like this. So you can see here. Can you see here? Yes. There's that darkest bit of the dark grey underneath, and then I've got all the mid-tones. Now, I may have blended that too much. We'll see. But what we want to do with this pattern of horse is kind of blend in a lighter region through the center here. That sort of decreases in size, so it's bigger at the bottom. Lots of little brush strokes. And then we want to do the same over on this side. And then the same sort of down here. So you can see we've got like... I don't know if that's going to read on camera. I'll see if I can come right in close and stop down. So we've got like these kind of middle and side regions that are lighter. And the channels in here are darker. It's really subtle because I didn't put a lot of depth into that region with the dark grey. I probably should have put more. But it just creates some definition on, you know, what a lot of people just paint as like a flat piece of muscle, because it is a lot flatter than the others. So I'm picking out the middle section, and I'm just layering more and more strokes here with this thinned paint to get it looking sort of more opaque, you know, and building up more color. Just gonna pick out all of the regions of the face while we're here. There we go. Let's have a look at the other side. The other side's the exact same thing, but it's way more defined, so it's a lot easier. Load up my brush, nice and thin. There's that seam that runs up. And then that center region there. So just building up different profiles of color. And then we have an entire region of the horse face that isn't even base coated. So let's quickly base coat that with my darker gray. Notice how I didn't bother washing brushes. Who cares, man? It's all grays. Get it in there. And, you know, if I've got a little bit of the lighter stuff on my brush and the horse head becomes a little bit lighter, who cares? It's just some natural variation. We're painting horses, you know, not tanks. It's all from nature. Is that better when I'm up here? Can you guys see better when I'm up that high? Probably. Maybe I'll go here, because then I can rest my hands on the palette. You guys should be able to see a bit nicer as well. Alright, so that is basically our grey done. We could bring in a further highlight if it's you know, it's a little subtle. So say we bring in our Stonewall grey. And then I'm just going to bring in some Ghost grey, which is just a really light grey. And sometimes I mix with this instead of white because it, just gives you that little bit more control because white is so bright. Oh yeah, that nozzle's clogged. Deal with that later. And I'm just going to mix in some ghost grey just to make like a lighter grey. And we'll just do the exact same process really quickly on the like extreme bright, extreme sort of highlights. It's probably not thin enough. And you don't have to highlight every part of the horse to the same extent. Because, the different skins are brighter. Different regions of the horse will be brighter. This is just very subtly brighter. But it's just adding a little extra layer. Danger of it being so thin as it can dry on the brush pretty quickly. Alright, once that's down, I'll come and join the chat. Doing a little bit of a rush job on this section now. So you guys get the idea, but I just want to see if I can quickly approximate what it would look like. I'm going to spend another 10 minutes on this, just so you guys can see the a closer to finished result on the flesh. Now, because I'm going quickly, it does look a little chalky, because I'm almost overbrushing rather than properly highlighting, but I just want you guys to be able to see that colouring, so you can see the finished kind of vibe. That's a close approximation. If I can't bring that in like that. That's a close approximation to our light grey scheme. So we recess shaded the darker grey. We blended that in by bringing in a mid-tone grey, which is very close to the prime. And then we brought in a lighter grey to do a kind of broad highlight, and then a much lighter grey just to do a really kind of keen highlight. And the thing with all of these highlights is make sure, or everything really, is make sure it's thin, because we want to get blends, nice blends between the bits of the model. Doing a couple of thin coats of the same color to get that, if you want something that's X grey, do half X grey by 2, because you can blend it more, and you'll get a better finish. So that is our light grey done. Let's have a look at how that contrast dried while we were waiting, and you can see that it's black, but it's not. It's just got a little bit of stuff starting to happen to it. I mean, really, if you wanted to and you didn't care that much, you could literally throw that model down. It's not that bad. And we're just gonna accent that by using some really dark greys to create some hearts. We'll do that in a sec because I haven't been in the chat for a bit. All right. Goodness me. Joshy Summer says, time to go to bed. Good night, Josh. Have fun at work tomorrow. I saw people asking questions. Let's go. Rich says, do you or any of your battle buddies have a Mahud camel cavalry army? Yes, Jacques has a full Mahud army. He loves Mahud. He's been painting them for some time, and they're stunning. We didn't finish talking about that. Alessio joins us from Italy. Welcome, Alessio. Thank you for tuning in live. Paplok says, is it Lockie or Lackey or something else? It's Lockie, L-A-C-H-I-E. Damien is correct. When a model's going to be back in stock? Yeah, so it's about cycling stock. So yeah, we were talking about the whole thing of like why the Arnold range and the Mahud range aren't in. So yeah, there's this thing about they only want to have so many SKU codes and so much space in the warehouse. It's kind of weird So the way that Games Workshop have maximized their profitability is by keeping a really clean and sleek and elegant kind of production machine in Nottingham. Their factory space isn't massive, so they try to keep some of the lines slim in the specialist games by rotating stock out. And so that's part of it, is because it means that there's less stock for them to have in the warehouse, which I'll rebuttal in a sec because it's stupid. But the other part of it is, or some say, is that by having so many active SKU codes, it can put off suppliers from stocking the entire range. But I mean, at this point, like, no one's ever going to stock the entire range of this specialist system. So yeah, I don't know. It is weird. It's just more things that they have to like keep up being made, and sort of how many more molds they have to have in active maintenance. So if people are selling, you know, if they're selling a small turnover of a large variety of unique blisters, it means that every now and then someone's got to go dig out the blister for that, the mold for that blister, make a small quantity of them to fill up that demand, and then put them back. So they'd rather, every company would rather have less products and sell more of that product, because it's obviously way less work. So I think that's part of it. And also their warehouse space isn't massive, which has really hurt them during COVID, because they've had to decrease staff in the warehouse because of the constricted size. And by, you know, I mean constricted size in comparison to, like, say, an Amazon fulfillment center. It's still a very, you know, capable space. So that's why we're seeing such a delay on lots of things being out of stock, a delay on getting products out, you know, the releases coming back like AMA and stuff. It's because they literally don't have, it's not about getting the stuff cast or getting it made. It's about literally not having the capacity to fulfill the orders because they've got such limited staffing stock inside the warehouse. So because it's, you know, they need to have the appropriate social distancing in place. So that's why we're seeing, you know, where Lord of the Rings is nothing. We make no money for Games Workshop compared to 40k in Fantasy and Sigmar. Now, we used to be the other way around. But in this day and age, that's how it is. And, you know, we're literally in the middle of launching 9th edition with like 10 new flagship products. Until that's over, there's no way we're seeing AMA. You know, so Keeper of the Dungeons is different because that stock was probably already made. And to a certain extent, I'm sure AMA's stock is probably already made. But it's just that 9th edition's got to take priority. Like, the amount of orders that are coming in for 40k stuff is ridiculous at the moment. It's so, there's like a huge thirst for stuff. And they're releasing all these new box sets and stuff, so, you know, and we're just going to have to wait. Hopefully AIM is not too much further away. We saw Keeper of the Dungeons is coming out on Friday or whatever. So, hopefully we do see AIM soon. What other questions here have we got? No, they definitely haven't got the axe rich. They definitely, Arnold and Far Harrod will definitely come back. Yeah, so a lot of the Middle Earth lines and stuff are still out of stock, so that's what someone was asking about. Someone was after Gothmog, I think it was. I've lost the message now, but yeah, essentially, look, they will come back as they find time to stock the warehouse and things, but by constricting the Middle Earth orders, it just helps take pressure off. It sucks for us, but it's just how it is. Joel says, time sounds like it's time for GW to expand its production and stock. Look, they've got it down to a fine art. There's a reason why the company's worth $1.6 billion. It's because they have nice low overheads, or as low as any company can keep them. They probably don't pay their staff well enough for the job that they do. And they've got, like, you know, this incredible product with great market control. So they only expand in safe little steps. They don't want to ever open themselves up to risk and expose themselves to a decreased profitability, because that has happened in the past. In 2011 and 2012, there were like big moves. Even early, we saw that interview with Rick Priestley over on Harry's channel, Battle Games in Middle Earth. And he was talking about how they kind of expanded too quickly in the early 2000s with the Lord of the Rings stuff. So much money was coming in from Lord of the Rings, from our system in the early 2000s, that they were just throwing money at everything, just rapidly expanding, rapidly making stuff, and they got kind of caught up in about 2009, 2008. Or even a little earlier, actually. It was like, and so they were. It sort of got too big for them to manage, and they weren't ready for that growth. So they're always cautious these days about expanding too rapidly. Yeah, they will expand. They will keep expanding over time, and the business is growing insanely well. But yeah, they are still, you know, as much as they are a giant, they're also still this relatively contained British company. But yeah, so it's hopefully we see lots more. Hopefully we see lots more Middle Earth stuff coming back in stock really soon. Right, what other questions have I missed? If Games Workshop could make a contract with a video game company and make this game on the computer, yeah, like Tabletop Simulator, that would be amazing. I doubt they'll ever make that exact game because they'll feel like it pulls too far away from selling physical stock. That's why they'll never support Tabletop Simulator. But it would be nice. Alright, so that's our light grey finished. He's looking fantastic. I think there were more questions that I wanted to answer, but I've lost them now, so just ask them again and I'll get back to it in just a sec. So, what we're going to do now is mix up some highlights for our black horse. So I'm going to grab a Baden Black. I'm going to throw that down on the palette. I'm going to put it over here. Alright, just wash that brush out. And then I'm going to bring in some Stonewall Grey, right? Now I'm using my lighter grey to mix these highlights because this grey is a neutral grey, whereas the heavy blue grey has a little bit of blue through it. And in the black horse, I don't really want that. So I'm going to mix this up. And we want quite a dark grey. So that's a good final highlight. But I'm going to need a darker intermediate step. So I'm going to bring in just a bit more Abaddon. Ah, fuck, is it Abaddon or Abaddon? It's Abaddon, isn't it? Yep. Every time I say it, I'm like, ah! I know Emil from Squidmar still says Abaddon. We always pay him out for that. Alright, that is very thin. Let's see how this works. So, I've got a kind of nice dark grey here. It's super thin. It may be too thin. Let's take a look. So what we're doing here is the kind of old school scheme, right? Is we're bringing in the lighter greys. We're not bothering with any recess shading because we're hoping that the contrast has done that for us. And we're picking out all the raised regions. Now this is super thin. So it will dry darker when it's dry because it's wet, so it's shiny and sort of looks good. But hopefully that will make it blend really well and just help with lots of kind of subtle highlights on the musculature. So you can see I'm moving across this model quite quickly. This is the name of the game here. Is I'm trying to show you guys how to do these techniques. We also want to get horses done fast, because you know, we want to get rolling dice, right? So this is my mid-tone, right? I'm putting a fair amount of this down over the broader areas. Someone was saying that they wish that there was more variety of the horse poses, because there's only 2, right? Or is there? No, there's 4. So you get 2 poses, but you can actually combine the legs, and then you can sort of turn the 2 poses into 4. So that's the little cheat that we all use to get a bit more. But yes, obviously we wish there was more horses. I seriously doubt we'll ever get like a new plastic Rohan kit for horses, you know, like very unlikely, I think. Hopefully we get some new plastic kits alongside Amazon. That would be amazing. We're not going to go into a whole other Amazon conversation. Oh, of course, that's the other thing we haven't talked about. It's bloody gambling. The FAQ. So, before the FAQ, here's Lockie's thoughts, because I haven't really done it yet. Before the FAQ, we had 2 powerful legions that were a cut above. One of them was the Isengard Legendary Legion, Assault on Helm's Deep. It was broken. Was genuinely, it's terrible. It's not good. Way too powerful. The ballistas combining with the bombs. No, it's stupid. Stupid good. Theoden's Riders is very powerful as well. I wouldn't say it was any more powerful than the Riv Knights. Maybe just slightly a nose in front. You know, I mean, there's a reason I've been playing with it for 3 years. It was nuts. And so the Gambling's banner has been changed so that you can only restore 1 point of might per turn instead of any hero within range of it. So there's 2 kind of responses to it. A lot of people have been like, well, if you're going to change the banner that much, the price of the banner needs to change. Because, you know, when you compare it to other big 50-point banners like Helbarad's banner, or Aragorn's banner that Helbarad has, and Boromir's banner, it's not on par. So my thing about the cost of the banner, even for its ability now, is fine. It's 50 points. It's a 25-point banner, and it's an extra 25 points on a banner. It gives back 1 free might per turn. You do that for 5 turns, you've paid for it. On top of that, it's on a hero who's very hard to kill, because he has heroic defense, and that hero doesn't suffer a penalty to wield it. Not that gambling should really ever be in any serious combats, but anyway. So, there you go. So, that grey skin is looking fantastic. So just a really subtle pass on the grey. And what we'll do is I'll just grab a slightly lighter grey and do another little accent pass. And then that guy's going to be done. So, you know, you can really start to smash out the horses once you get your schemes down. So yeah, so it's not that it's definitely fine for 50 points. And it's not about the cost that's my issue with it. It's about, and it was never about the cost, because I mean it was always undercosted for what it did. You have to consider things in the context of the army, and the context in which they play, and it's about what the banner does. Now I think it was too powerful, but now I think it's underpowered, and I don't mean that it's unfairly good for what it does. It's still great value. 50 points. To do what it does is still great, but when you consider it in the context of the army, it needs to do more heavy lifting than it can now currently do, because Rohan will have lost a huge amount of might, which is part of the whole, the reason that they've become the army that they should be, which is this incredibly dynamic, powerful all-cav force. Is because of their ability to leverage that might to maintain their mobility. And they probably had a little bit too much mobility, but now they probably don't have enough. So, yeah, they're still going to be great, but I think it's been a little bit unnecessary. And look, at the end of the day, half of this is my fault, because there's a reason this Legendary Legion is very popular. And one of it is because it's a very good Legendary Legion, and lots of players all around the world are able to read a book and go, wow, that's good, I want to play that. And a hell of a lot of the reason it's popular is because I play it so much on here, and have been banging on about it for 2 years. So, you know, sorry everyone. But yeah, I mean, it's an insane list. I think the it's going to change the way the things are built, for sure. But yeah, my counter to it, what would you have instead, Lockie, is the natural question from that statement, is I would have been happy if the banner was changed the way it was, but Dernhelm could get 2 points of might back with Merry and Eowyn. getting it. So if it was like, you know, one model in range can be use the banner, because then you still get the cool double tap on Dernhelm, which still enables some mobility there. I don't think turning it into a 6-inch banner is the answer, because we've got so many 6-inch banner effects. And to be honest, having a 6-inch banner wouldn't actually make it that much more powerful, because I'm always running 2 banners on that that area anyway. So yeah, it's fine though. It's fine. We'll live. But I think it might have just gone a little bit too much the other way. It's the thing is, it's the army is such a knife edge already. My list anyway. That the difference between it being a really good army and falling apart was always, you know, the quest stands upon the edge of a knife. And the thing I like about it is you got to be a good player to use cav armies like that, and people are always like, oh, it takes no skill to just get infinite might. It's like, yeah, man, you play a cav army at 1,000 points with 19 models. It takes skill, even with Rohan's banner. It's a tricky beast to wield. You see, I've seen lots of people play Rise of Theoden and just, you know, not do well at all. It takes a bit. So yeah, well, I don't know. It's fine, but I feel like it's just been a little bit too much. But we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next 6 months. I haven't actually played any games with it, of course. I mean, I can do the math though. I've played enough games with Rise of Theoden to know how it's going to affect the army. But it's going to change my formations a lot, that's for sure. Where Gamling goes in the army is going to be significantly different. It's going to make Daewine much more important, because I basically never used Daewine's free might ability to get the heroic combats, because he was very close to the banner a lot of the time. How great is this black horse looking? So boom, 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 boom. That's looking good. Liam says, do you think Jay changed the assault on Helm's Deep Legion enough? Probably not. We'll have to wait and see. One thing, we've been chatting about it in my local scene, and a fantastic suggestion from a mate of mine, Ori, was what they should have done, or could have done, is simply change the order of bomb detonations to happen after heroic moves, or heroic actions, so that way heroes can call heroic combats before bombs go off, to try and, like, disrupt the flow. And then that could have seemed like cool interactions where maybe heroes are trying to call heroic actions to get the bombs off in time. I don't know, but basically, yeah, the whole it is kind of my personal opinion that siege engines should only be in a game where there's walls. I don't really like them on an open battlefield for Middle Earth. I know some players do, but like at the end of the day, the majority of the time there's not siege engines in Middle Earth. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about it in general. I feel super mixed. So, we have 3 choices, guys. Are we moving next onto our browns, our whites, or our tans? I'll let you guys decide in the chat, and I'll come and jump on in. Here's our progress so far. We've got our kind of grey species done, our dark black, dark grey horse with these highlights, and then our light grey horse. So that's 2 horses done. We're smashing this. How long have we been going? Wow, it's 9:30. We've been going for an hour and a half. We've done 2 horses. It's time to pick up the pace, Lockie. Let me come back into the chat. What, you wouldn't like Dwarf and Twirly Bird siege weapons? Yeah. We've got people talking about lots of awesome games, like the mod for Medieval 2. Very, very cool, apparently. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd totally play a Total War game. Yeah, like I'd love to play more real-time strategy games, and I think that's totally still on the table. I just don't think we'll see Tabletop Simulator kind of thing ever being absorbed. Nate's Miniatures has joined us in the chat. Morning, dude. I love using... Oh, Prince Imrahil, of course, has the 1-foot banner. I have no problem with Imrahil's massive banner. I think it's really cool. I think it's nice and themey for Imrahil. It represents how his warriors fight for him. Yeah, I've got no problem with it. Yeah, you can combine the legs. I don't mind the leg poses. I think they look okay when you switch them. James says, gambling o'clock. Here we go. Yeah, Dernhelm, the Dernhelm combination being hurt is annoying. Yeah, Paploke says, Lockie apologizing for gambling changes, Jasmine apologizing for demo charge changes. Yeah, Jazz went to town in the UK with them. Alright, I think that's caught up. So we've got people voting for white, brown, 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 brown. Alright, looks like the Browns have it. Cool. Alright, Browns it is. I'm going to agree with all of you and just lie and do the tan one. We will do the Browns, but what I'll quickly do is I'll put down a coat of contrast on the tan horse so that we can get that guy drying. So this is the Wraithbone Prime. It's primed over black and it's sort of half lazily Zenithal Prime, so it's actually darker underneath. Wraithbone. No, not Wraithbone. Skeleton Horde. Skeleton Horde, here we go. So give a good shake to all your contrast paints. Skeleton Horde's not too bad for separation, but they love to separate, and they apply so differently if you don't shake the crap out of them. So what I'm going to do is just really quickly get a nice even coverage of Skeleton Horde all over the Wraithbone. As always, we want this layer to be really thin. We don't want to apply a thick, gloopy layer of contrast. It looks terrible, particularly on the lighter ones. So, you know, we're still going to get all the cool contrasty stuff and the muscle tone. Might not be as insanely exaggerated, but I have no problem with that. You can see with the underneath of the horse will be slightly darker because of that slightly darker prime underneath. So sometimes Zenithal primes can work really usefully under contrast paints, which you don't see people doing all that often, but it's the exact same principle. I don't know why. We're going to focus on all these legs. Good coverage on them. Oh, that was a little thick. Push that all up around onto the other leg as well. Skeleton Horde is such a great paint. Not really sure why a lot of people rip on contrasts. I think it's just the way Games Workshop marketed them. Like if they'd brought out this new range of paints without the marketing paint of contrast and just been like, hi, so this is our new Citadel heavy glaze. It's really useful for, you know, doing X, Y, and Z. I reckon people would have been like, oh, okay, cool. But because of the way they marketed contrast paints, like when I do a painting tutorial and I use any contrast paint in it, I'll always get a couple of comments like literally hurling abuse at me for painting with a contrast paint. Why would you paint with that shit? Make your model look like a cheap Chinese $2 store toy. It's like, dude, look at the fucking photo. It clearly doesn't look like that. You're just being a hyperbolic idiot who is just trying to be cool and, you know, get the likes in the comments because you've said something funny. It's like, don't get it. Like, look at this. This is a super dope paint. I've applied it down. It's like a nice kind of thick glaze over a prime. We've got a really cool toning effect. Contrast paints are awesome. They have great uses. Yes, some of them aren't awesome, but it's nice to have different paints with different material properties. It gives you more tools in your toolkit. Just don't understand all the hate. So that is our kind of tan roan down. Again, you could literally leave that as is, but we'll do some highlights on him later. I just wanted that contrast paint to dry because they do take a little longer to dry. Let's start with our browns. So we've got two brown schemes. They're both working up from black, but I've already done the first base coat, like I said before, by grabbing a second-hand model that had already got the first base coat on it. So this is going to be our lighter brown. So let's start off with our darker brown. I'm going to grab all my browns. I'm going to need... no, not Scarlet Red. Dark Flesh Tone, that's going to be part of our mid-tone, that's important. There we go, Charred Brown, that's what we want for now. What was I going to mix as the highlight color? I think it might have been tan. I'll have to have a look on... Oh, I think it was leather brown, actually. Let's get that out now. There's plague brown. Where's leather brown? Is that leather brown? Heavy skin tone. Oh, alright, I'll find you later. So, charred brown, sorry, is Rhinox hide, or as close as we can get to the old scorched brown. And it's wonderful, wonderful paint. The old scorched brown. We love the old scorched brown. So let's use just a nice, easy brush. Now we're just going for a classic base coat here, so we just want bloody brown everywhere. We'll probably get away with one coat. We might have to do 2 thin coats, but that's okay. We've got plenty to do while I can whiz coats over. Right, did we finish talking about gambling? I think we did. It's fine. I've got 0 problems that he got changed. Can definitely see that he needed a little tweak, and it was probably a bit powerful. Yeah. To a point. And then, but I do think it's probably just gone a little too heavy. But we'll see how it goes. It's not like we're going to be able to play games before the next FAQ anyway. So yeah, what other changes were there? There was the bomb change. Did the bomb change go far enough? Maybe not. Again, we'll have to see how that one plays out. And I think that was really it. They're the only 2 major changes. So a pretty chill errata compared to last time. But yeah, that was sort of my finishing point. So it's not about the cost. I'm not worried about gambling's cost. Like, the banner is still well costed, you know. And I don't think reducing the banner to, like, if you made the banner free, it doesn't alleviate my point, right? It's not about, my issue is not a cost of the banner. It's about the banner's ability to leverage mobility. You know, having an extra 3 Royal Guard because that banner is free isn't going to change my concerns with it being reduced so much. Rohan needs a lot of might to be able to play like the Rohan we know and love. Yes, obviously that still needs to happen in a balanced way, but I want to play Rohan like Rohan. I don't want to play Rohan like I had to for editions. For, you know, all of the Hobbit edition, where I had to take Erkenbrand spamming stupid riders to get weird ways to get my fight 4, and sit at the back of the board shooting for the first hour and a half of the game, and then for the last 15 minutes run in to fight and claim objectives. I want to sound the charge, not fire a single bloody bow, and go. And to do that, I need lots of might. Otherwise, I'll just get wrecked. So I guess that's my biggest point, is Rohan needs its ability to do that, to play like the Rohan we know. But I think we still have that. Obviously, we've got Death and a whole bunch of great might-wielding heroes, Dernhelm's ability. So yeah, I think it's still fine. I just think it might have been pulled back a little too much. So that is our dark brown down. Looks very nice, looks very dark. What I'm going to do now is, I think next it's putting down a wash of Agrax Earthshade. So we're actually going to have to let that fully dry. And then what we'll do is we'll put our wash of Agrax Earthshade down on this guy. So just pretend I've put that prime down. Oh, look, I quickly painted it with a nice light brown. And now we're going to actually wash the entire model. We're not going to recess shade with this particular one. Because the Agrax Earthshade is because it's a brown wash, it sort of tones the skin nicely anyway. But before I do that, we're going to swing a battery. One sec, guys. Well, just noticed that you've had no music this entire time. Silly Lucky. No wonder no one was being like, yeah, the music volume's fine. Oh, no music was only for about 20 seconds. Oh, good. Okay. Never mind, that was weird. It was just bugging out. It's fine. Alright, cool. Where were we? Alright, so we're Agrax Earth Shading this bad boy. Silly VMix just having a wig out there. So let's just get Agrax all over this skin. It's going to give us a nice little toning, as well as obviously, you know, cementing those recesses. It's one of the nice things about browns is that they are easier to paint because you just throw down Agrax over the flesh tone and let it do its work. Oh, I can hear Hazel waking up. Lots of little happy chirpings coming from the room next door. Alright, get into a nice even coat. Man, I love Agrax. I've barely been using Agrax lately with all the Necrons and stuff I've been painting. I always forget how good it is. Make sure you get every side of the legs. It's so easy to accidentally leave an underside of one leg unpainted. And you can be really heavy with this wash. Obviously Agrax, it's not a contrast paint. It doesn't gloop up. It evaporates perfectly. So, you know, you can just get it all over there and it'll wick away and leave a whole bunch of it in the recesses. It's great. Okay, I think that's our Agrax down. Let's see if this guy's dry enough for Agrax yet. He probably just needs a little bit longer. So what we're going to do is let's have a look at our... That guy, the contrast is still drying in the recesses, so that's fine. Coming together nicely. So we've got a couple of drying models. We can switch on up and get down another stage. We're going to start sort of switching back and forth between schemes now. Oh my god, how did I pick that up so quickly? Now what I'm going to do is use my kind of classic scheme. So white, right? White is the difficult one. And I'm not the best painter of it in terms of horses. So I have a really cheap and dirty method, which we'll start with first, which is grabbing a 50-50 blend of Nuln Oil and Lahmian Medium and doing a wash all over and then overbrushing highlights. And that's how I get my toning, rather than using like grey recess shading. So let's start with that. And it often ends up being a bit of a dirty white. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then maybe we could try the Apothecary White contrast paint, which I always shit on, because it's a terrible paint. But it might be interesting to show you guys that. And I also haven't given it a run for a while, so maybe on a larger area like horse flesh, maybe that will do something interesting. So, but historically on this channel, this glaze has always worked a zillion times better than the Apothecary White. Maybe we should give it a go. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys want me to try out the Apothecary White and we can compare it to this Nuln Oil glaze and see which one's better on these horses? I sort of did that whole comparison video with my clone troopers and stuff for Star Wars Legion. But I'm sure not all of you guys have watched the Star Wars Legion content, being this is a Middle-earth stream, so might be a useful little bit of research to do on some horses. So there we go, that's super easy. Get the glaze down all over, and you can see already just how much that has shaded that white. It's taken it to sort of a darker white, getting into that grey. Oh, what? Someone said, I thought this was Riders of Rohan, not the Long Dark of Moria. Sam, are you saying you can't see? I think you should be able to see. It looks like you can see on my screen. Let me know if you're having a problem there, Sammy. Alright, well, if we've had a few people keen to see the Apothecary White, so we can do one of the horses with that. Okay, so first thing, look at the bottom of this contrast paint. Okay, look how much that's separated. Do not put this on your model while you still have that there. So sometimes, depending on the paint, you may have to shake for like 2 or 3 minutes to separate that, because that, you know, it should be mixed. So let's get into that. I'm going to shake down here away from the microphone, and we'll see if we can. Yeah, I would have shaken this up beforehand, but this is kind of spur of the moment, so I'm not really prepared. So let's come back into the chat while I'm shaking. Maybe refresh. Oh, cool. So Kenny's saying to Sam maybe to refresh. Yeah, Sam, just refresh it. Hey, Brushstroke, Mr. Collard has joined us. He says contrast doesn't work too nice for horses. Yeah, that's essentially my whole point. Is like the broad flat nature rarely works. I find, here you go, Jimmy. You can have a look at this. This is Skeleton Horde. This is the one I really only use contrast wise on horses. I think it's a great base for like a tan Palomino. But for my whites, I'm not following your method yet, James. I'm doing my lazy method. I'm showing them my lazy methods first. For the whites, we stole all of your greys and browns already. So this is my 50-50 glaze of Nuln and Lamian medium, in case you just joined us, James. We're letting that dry, and then I'm going to show them why I don't use Apothecary white. I'm going to be so mad if it ends up looking good, because I shit on it all the time on the channel. Like, so much. Ben says he watched the Star Wars Legion stuff. Lima says the clones look great. Thank you. Look, see, here we go. You can start to see that pull away now. So we know that that's starting to get all mixed up. Jazz watched it, loved how the clones looked. Chris said, does this mean he's throwing shade? Oh, James has been here a while. He's been mocking me. He wants me to layer white. Don't worry, I got 3 white horses, Jimmy. I got 3. It's gonna be fine. We can do a sexy layered version on the third one. Dylan says, wait, did Lockie just change the battery and not leave a blank screen for 10 minutes? He's learning! Liquid Talent, my favourite step, says Kieran. Oh, James, you've been in the chat for ages. Actually, the full Agrex comes after a raised area layer for brown. Oh, yeah, that's right. You meant to put down a highlight first. Oh, well, that's fine. We're going wild over here. Remember to leave all your paint pots open, boss, otherwise why are we even watching? Yeah, I mean, let's face it, that's the main reason people tune in, is they're waiting for that moment where I finally knock a paint pot over live on camera. Alright, that looks pretty shaken now. So let's give this, let's show this Apothecary white. Alright, here we go. Here's a little horsey. So, they call it Apothecary white, but let's face it, it's Apothecary grey. So I think, and they say to apply this over, like, you know, Wraithbone or Grey Seer. It's just a joke. Like, I'm applying this over white, so we're giving it the best chance possible to create a cool white finish. But it's just not going to do it. We're going to end up with a grey horse, you'll all see. Fucking hate this paint. But we will see. So yeah, we're kind of, for anyone who's just joined us, we're doing a lot of horse painting today. We've got a whole bunch of different kind of inspiration. We've got the old school guides. I'm doing some of my own kind of schemes. And I've also got some wonderful guides that I'm stealing steps and bits and parts from down in the description below from Brushstroke, which is Mr. James Collard, a fantastic painter. So if you guys are looking for some great guides that you want to follow, you know, step by step, like, you know, as a picture, because obviously then you don't have to step back and forth through this stream. His YouTube channel is linked down below, and the guides will be around. I think the horse guides aren't actually in video format yet, are they, James? So I'll also link them in our post. Okay, I'm getting really mad. This is actually looking okay. But it's not white, is my point. I'm doing this over a white prime. and this isn't white. It's going to look like a really cool grey. Wow, man, I've never tried this sort of horse before. This looks okay. This looks okay. It's a bit gloopy, of course. We got to wick it away from these recesses. Wick, wick, wick. Wick, wick, wick. Yeah, that looks alright. That looks alright. Alright, we'll see how it dries. We'll see how it dries. Apothecary white on horses. Maybe we finally found a use for this shitty paint. Making light grey horses. We'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Might be able to blend some whites to get it up to it. Obviously, don't judge the Null and Oil layer too hard, because it is designed to be varnished, right? So it will look a little glossier than it is. We shall see. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Looks terrible on clones. Could be useful. So, let's switch back to our tan Palomino. Because it looks like his contrast layer is dry. No, we'll give it a tiny bit longer. Let's jump into our. We'll put down our second layer of brown on our thing. Let me just whiz back to the chat. Oh, cool. So Brushstroke does have an Easterling painting video over on the channel. So definitely go and check that out. But I will absolutely use link the pictures in the description. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused by why everyone are talking about geese in the chat. Oh, swans. All right, they're talking about being upset. Lima says I should try Army Painter washes on horse. See, I have none of the Army Painter range. I'll have to give them a go. So, we've got our Rhinox Hide or our Charred Brown from Vallejo down. Now I'm going to bring in my Dark Flesh Tone or Doombull Brown. I think that's the overlap. Whatever the hell it's called in GW. Dark Flesh Tone's the next step. Oh, that needs a big shake. Man, I need to get some agitators for these paints. I'm doing it today. I'm ordering my agitators. I've been meaning to do it since I bought all my new Vallejos about a year ago. There we go. So we want these layers nice and thin. So that we get nice blends and everything's really nice and subtle. So I'm drawing it across my wet palette. Not slapping any medium down or anything. I'm just using the nature of the wet palette to give me a little bit. Cool. So that's gonna be good. So let's pick out all our little raised regions. And this is really gonna warm him up, brighten him up. But the thing with Dark Flesh Tone is it always looks much lighter than when it dries. It will darken up a fair bit, especially as it blends with the brown, because it nice and thin, translucent, all that stuff we've been talking about, and it will darken down as it dries. So we're accenting a relatively broad highlight at this point with this layer. To really bring in a nice kind of bit of dimension to the brown. Following all the little... It's quite fun, sort of, if you keep your brush at a particular plane and then drag it over a region of the model, it helps you sort of find muscle definition you often don't realize is there, particularly when it's primed so dark. It's the same thing as when you put a wash down and you're like, oh wow, didn't realize that was actually a recess, when it is in fact a recess. So a nice thin layer. I'm almost overbrushing this highlight, right? Like I'm keeping the brush horizontal to the area that I'm working and dragging across and moving the brush up and down. Just let the brush find all the raised sections. It's important to not have too much on the brush, or you will just overload the region with paint. You can do the same thing with this little, this leaning horse. You guys see that? Yeah, should be good there. Where we're going to accent the center band and the two edges. Leaving the darker charred brown in the recess. Oh man, this looks so good. love brown horses, man. They're so much fun. Dark browns are just so forgiving. Slap some highlights on. Slap some agrax on. Bob's your uncle. Cool, look at that. Simple pass, really quick, really easy. Bit of highlights. Oh, we should do some stuff on the face. Just jam in there. Throw a bit of colour around. Don't have much left on the brush at this point, so I'm sort of just deliberately dragging over the highlights. Boom shakalaka. So he's ready for a wash. We'll just give him a little bit of time. Let's have a look at our brighter guy. He's coming along with a little bit of that kind of dirty agrax look. And we'll need to mix up a nice sexy highlight for him. Cool. We should be time to jump into Tan Palomino land. Oh, we have visitors. Let's go see who's at the door. Oh, banana delivery. Thank you, man. You come wave? The banana has arrived from my banana bearer. Take my banana, Mum.
Sure.
Whee! Hello, everyone! Alright, there you go. Good girl. Have fun.
You're one lucky princess.
Alright, where were we? So, we're gonna do some more super lazy work. Uh-oh, a cat got in just then. Oh, shit. Rosie, get away from the internet. Okay. She hasn't knocked the cable out. No, you're out of here, you monkey. You're gonna knock out my internet cable midstream. I'm not trusting you. Be gone! Say hi. Alright, you wanna say hi? Hello, everyone. Alright. Good girl. Go on, you go. Oh my god, like 50 cats trying to get in my room! Okay, we're back. My breakfast has arrived. And we've seen every cat, okay. Right, now James says, ooh, as we're painting horses, remember say, horses don't have human eyes. Paint them all brown unless scared. Oh, that's interesting. How do the... Take us through the horse... So, as in, do you mean don't use whites for their eyes, James? Alright, so, we've got a nice kind of cool toning here. And, like, you can see how, if you're really trying to quickly batch out some horses, you could super easily just leave this as it is. But I like to just give it a little bit of a lazy overbrushed highlight for the Palominos. Like, you can absolutely do super nice highlighting and blended stuff. James has actually got a really nice kind of tan guide on his guides. Whoa. So what I'm going to do, though, is be super lazy, and we're going to grab my Terminator Stone dry paint with one of my makeup brushes, and we're going to create a bit of a dry brush highlight. Now, the downside of this look is it can look a bit dusty, which sort of can look a little gross. So you can try it on the legs down here. But the benefit is that it is sort of, like, smooth, and it's super quick, too. So if you just keep it subtle, you can stop it from being really kind of gross. But it just helps you just kind of blend the contrast a little bit more, gives it a little bit more of a highlight, really. A little bit more on the brush. Gotta love these makeup brushes. So good. And they're really great for applying these dry paints because everything's just so soft. Just building up those highlights. Oh, I've nearly snapped the ankle on this one. Thought I'd fix that. A classic Games Workshop horse moment. Let's see if I can not break it live on camera. And so we're just, yeah, building up the highlights. You can see how the very crest of the muscles are just getting a little bit more of a brighter look. And it just helps give them that little extra something. Dude, this Terminator stone is like drying up. You're a dry paint. You're meant to be dry, but you're not meant to be dry. That's frustrating. Gotta be careful. If you use too much paint on your brush, it gets dusty. That's how you get the really gross, dusty, dry brushed look. Which I sort of did a little bit there. Oh, let's do these legs at the front. They need some work. There we go. Look at that. Super lazy tan horses. This is how I paint my tan horses. I got games to play. I don't have super amazing looking horses in need. There we go. Look at that. Super easy tan scheme. I would put that on the table happily. So what have we finished? We've got a sexy little grey using James's scheme with the recess shading and then the blended layering. So I don't know if you missed this, but this is where I painted like a real person, James, following your guides nicely. And then we got a bit lazier. We did a sexy contrast black and then did some nice blending again to get some nice flesh layers to get a cool looking black, which works really nicely. Now we've got a finished tan going full lazy with contrast and then literally an overbrush dry brushing highlight. Again, super easy. It looks great. It looks good enough anyway. Now we've got our dark brown. We've layered our base coat and we've also done our highlight, which is nice and dry. So now we'll slap down Agrax Earthshade. And I believe that's all over the model. I don't think that's a recessed shade. Let me check. Yeah, so we're washing all over with Agrax and then highlighting again with our Duel. So this is like, it's like that classic base coat, layer, wash, then highlight with the layer color because of course you've changed the hue. So it's a classic, it's a classic. So now we'll throw down some Agrax Earthshade all over this bad boy. And then we can finish our lighter brown and get into the whites to finish. And hopefully by the time we've done our browns, those whites will be done. It looks so good. Agrax Earthshade going down over the two browns really kind of blends them and deepens up those recesses. I love Agrax, man. Sexy. Alright, we'll let that one dry. Cool. So here we have our... Oh, that Agrax there's still a little wet. Yeah, there's a few recesses still to dry there. Let that go. Let's have a look at how our Apothecary White and our Null Oil Glaze is going. Yeah, look, not bad. Not bad. I think the Apothecary White actually looks better in this broader instance. The Null Oil Glaze is really nice on the sharp kind of armor of Space Marines and clones and things. And the gloss will get knocked out of it, but I think the Apothecary White may actually look a little better on a horse skin. So there we go. Potential candidate. So we can finish him off with like that same kind of classic lazy overbrush. And then when we get to Snowmane, we'll do some nice white layering. So the equivalent sort of approach there is to use Praxetti White instead of Terminator Stone. Again with our dry brush. And we just want to blend nicely, working down from the top of the model. So it's just a really kind of cheap and easy way to get white. It doesn't look phenomenal, but you know, once you've got leather straps and you've got a horsey model, a rider, you know those horsey things, those horsey lads, what are they called? Oh yeah, riders, that's it. So yeah, it has the downside of looking a little dusty if you apply it kind of poorly. And And even if you apply it well, sometimes it still looks dusty. So it doesn't have like the nicely kind of blended highlight look, but it's solid enough for getting a quick white. I'm really working on these flanks to kind of build up the muscle profile, because there's quite a lot of detail there in the muscle. Yeah, it looks really good, actually. Let's get a little bit more. So it's just not going to be as clean and bright if you do like the sexy layered, but if you want that dirty white, it has its look. I'm getting the distinct impression, yes, that I have picked up the brush that I used for Terminator Stone instead of a new dry brush, because some of these white highlights have got a little bit of a bone feeling to them. I'm pretty sure that was the same brush, so that's always good. This was the brush I meant to use, my clean dry brush. Oh well. We keep things interesting here. It's a horse color, nothing wrong with it. Not every horse needs to look perfect. Cool, so there we go. Simple white. Look at that, we got 4 little horsies going there in the back. Now how's this guy going? Is that glazed dry? It's basically dry. And then we've got Snowmane, who will do some sick blending stuff on it. Well, we'll give it a go anyway. I'm terrible at it. But first, let's finish off our brown boys. You 2 whites can go back over there. I'm just going to whip into the chat for a sec and have my banana. Alright. Oh, shit. I think I just leant on the chat and put someone in the timeout bin. Sorry if that was you. Alright, is there any plans on continuing your War in the North play-along? Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I just haven't had time for video games lately. I've been working so hard. But yeah, Joshy and I will definitely play more War in the North. Ryan Trace is in the chat. Hey Ryan. Morning, dude. He said, I was hoping for a Conscript of Rohan mini. Old men and boys like Eldor and Haleth. 4 points, Warrior of Rohan stat line with Courage 2 and Fight 2 with a 5+ shoot. That would be so cool. I would absolutely be up for that. And then you could have like a whole mix of those in the like Helm's Deep Defending Legion. Liam says, what time are you planning on doing the Wizard's Duel bit? I don't know, what's the time? It's already 10. So, how much more horse painting? We've probably got another half an hour of horse painting. I've got a little bit of blending left to do on these browns. And then, oh yeah, we wanted to do the, Appaloosa and the Pinto on these 2, which I'd almost completely forgotten about. So we've probably got like 45 minutes of horse painting left. So, and then I think the Wizards game will probably only go for like half an hour or something. So it'll probably be like 10:45. Hopefully we're starting it before 11. That would be the dream. But yeah, that peasant stat line would be awesome. Yeah, basically Moria Goblins. Exactly right. Yes, Crazy Cat Man. My cats are constantly trying to break in. Yeah, Liam says, does Games Workshop have like a peasant-ish unit? The only really peasant-ish profile I've ever seen is like the Breland villagers in the Battle Company's book. Yeah, all the horses will get hit with a matte varnish, as Brushstroke says. Otherwise, we get all of the gross shine. Same with all of the Null Noil and the Agrax Earthshade. Yeah, right. Horses have like full brown eyes. Cool. Oh yeah, of course they do. Yeah. I've seen that. What are the little tassels on the horse sprue for? So they're not little tassels. They're like extra bits of plastic grass that you can like stick in the spare holes, but they look silly. I just ignore them. Cool. Yeah, that was scary. Cat's nearly ruined my stream. Kian says, do you ever pull out all your horse miniatures into a massive army, like get 100 horses? Look awesome, I'd say. I tell you what you should do, Kian Walsh, is go onto my homepage and look at the Pelennor battle report that's there. Because what do we have? Ryan, who's in the chat currently, was playing the Rohan army. Although, I don't know, playing the Rohan army? More like getting them massacred. No, just kidding, Ryan. My dice rolls were quite good for the start of the bat rep. Yeah, we had like 50 or 60 Rohan, and then like, yeah, it was like 350 models all up. So definitely go and check that out, Keen, if you haven't seen that. It's a big one. It's a big bat rep, but it's a good one. Alright, so these guys we'll put aside. Let's just quickly do some... I'll just quickly do a lazy overbrush on this Null Oil Glaze one so that we can get into Pinto and stuff. See if I can get this to apply nicely without being streaky. Come on now. Trying to be quick and dirty here. No. Alright. Oh, actually, where's me white scar? Let's see if we can do this the old-fashioned way. Seeing as that dry paint isn't behaving. That white scar up the back there? No. Ooh, long beard grey. Thought I had that paint. White scar. Let's grab a little bit. Oh, man, that needs a shake. These Games Workshop paints separate so much. Really need to get agitators. People who use agitators in the chat, what do you use for your agitation? Glass balls, ball bearings? What's your agitator of choice? Just loading up a large brush here to just quickly smash this. Where's the Null Oil guy? This one? Is it this one? Yeah. Just smashing this white highlight on nice and quickly. It'll be a dirty white, but it's fine. It's more for illustration purposes. Yeah, do people use the kind of glass ball things, the glass or ball bearings, or is there a worry that like metal ball bearings will rust in the paint? It's something I need to kind of dive into, so tell me your secrets. Alright, there we go. Now this is the danger of like doing the dry brush, is you can get that real dirty white look with the kind of powdery finish, but it just gets us a white highlight tone, which is good enough to go underneath the neutral, underneath the Pinto and stuff. So I need to wash that brush out, that brush out. Okay, cool. Stacking them up. Alright, let's blend the last highlight for our browns. So I've got I'm going to use my dark flesh tone. Actually, I might blend it up from charred brown. No, it's going to have to be dark flesh tone. And I'm going to mix that in with a little bit of earth, perhaps, or maybe tan. We're trying to blend up a highlight for this color. Oh, that's pretty thin. So tan has a little bit of that kind of leather look to it. Really, we want like that, I don't know, that might be too... Might be too red, like too pinkish. Oh no, works pretty well. It's got a little bit of that red in it, like that kind of terracotta feeling. I think what I've actually done there is just mixed Tuskor fur by Citadel out of Vallejo paints. There's leather brown. Here we go. We'll bust in a little bit of leather brown, I think, and we'll mix that up from dark flesh tone, because then we'll get a bit more of a neutral. I'm actually just going to mix that dry in before I put my hand in this, but you can see why there's paint all over this. I'll bring in a little bit of leather brown. So this brown's got a little bit more yellow in it. So it might give us a nicer kind of... But this is often like what I do is I spend a bit of time just kind of mixing random colors together. Like this whole... You don't have to use everything out of the pot. Yeah, so this is kind of just like a sandier brown with a little bit more of a yellow ochre in it. Almost getting into that kind of dark tan territory. And I'm just picking out the highlights, just with the exact same techniques that we've been doing, accenting those raised regions. This is definitely a lot more tan than I intended, but it works well over the base coat. And because the Agrax has kind of dirtied it up and brought in more of that muddy brown, it works quite nicely. So just bringing in this color into all the raised regions. Trying to be quick and careful. It's a tricky combination to master. Just making all of those different muscles pop, giving them all that definition. Oh, that's got a chip of paint there. That's not good. I might just give that a little bit more. Oh, actually, might not have hit that at all yet. That will be why. So yeah, what do we've got here? We've got 8 horses. So that's going to be a good spread for our Riders of Rohan for next week's or next fortnight's installment. As well as having a few, 1 or 2 horses spare for Aemir and maybe, I can't remember. Do we get a Theoden at any point in this Battle Games in Middle-earth set? Can anyone remember? Or if anyone wants to look it up? Cool. It's just a nice, simple, blended highlight. I might accent this front flank a little bit more. Because I mixed up quite nicely a color that's really subtle and really close to the base. It's working well as a natural highlight. And I haven't actually thinned it too much. These paints are pretty thin anyway, because they're not fully shaken, so there's a bit of pigment sitting at the bottom, which is my lazy, cheating way of getting a thinner paint. Yeah, that's looking really good. I'll just focus on some of these leg musculatures. And you can take this to another level by, like, you know, overemphasizing the bits that are being hit by light as well. But most of the time I can't be asked with that with horses. Or with Middle-earth in general. Fuck yeah. Cool. Awesome. So that is... If we see here, we've got our Agrax drying on our nice dark brown. We've got the blended highlights on there as well. And that Agrax, we could chuck another highlight down on that, but I honestly think it's probably fine. Got a nice dark brown. We've got our kind of lighter tanner brown. It's not quite chestnut, which is where we were going, but that was where probably because I started with the wrong base to end up with a chestnut brown, because I didn't have any bestial brown. You get Theoden on foot, but not mounted. Okay, cool. Yeah. Ryan says the same. Yeah, cool. So people are talking about Azog, White Wargs, Goblins. Stainless steel ball bearing, says Dana Skaggs. Yeah, cool. Okay, wicked. Ryan says, dry brushing is awesome to do at the start, like what you're doing now. I like to make dirty and make my way towards neat. Yeah, that's a great way of working. Yeah, I really like that. Army Painter have a set of agitators. Do they really? Oh, cool. Rich says, I just put a Karen in my paints and they get agitated very easily. Haha, that's good. James Palmer uses glass balls, and ball bearings, whatever gets delivered faster. Yeah, cool. Fantastic. Alright. Yeah, wicked. Cool. So, That is our browns done, so let's stack those up over to the back. We'll get them out of the way. And then, oh, well, actually, we will need a bit of brown, won't we, if we're going to do these palominos. So, let's look at our, before we dive into Theoden, let's have a bit of a play around. So we've got these schemes. Let me switch some images up for you. We had a bit of a look at these at the start. Well, that was awesome. You guys got to miss all my beautiful narration of the imagery. Stupid microphone unplugged. So essentially, we've got these Dalmatian-style looking references, which are the Appaloosa, and they have a range of blacks and browns. Mic definitely working. Where I think what we'll do is we'll go for like the black style, and I think we can achieve that quite lazily with some like dots of black Templar, and we'll do really full, small, fine controlled stuff and just see how that dries and see what we can do to it, because obviously we're working in quite small regions and you don't want that to take forever. And then for this Pinto, I'm going to go for like the darker brown look, because I tried to mix Scrag brown with that leather brown just then, and it almost brought a little bit of green into it, which is in the leather brown, but it doesn't really show until you mix it with the darker brown. So I think we'll go for, or with the flesh tone? I don't know, I think we'll go for that, a darker brown look for our Pinto. So I'm going to swing back now. Make sure you guys can hear me. Excellent. Let's go back over to... Alright. Definitely confirming that you guys can hear me. Yell out in the chat if you can. My microphone. Fantastic. Thank you, Liam. Microphone is misbehaving today. So let's grab some Black Templar, and we're going to see if this works. Who's going to be our Appaloosa? Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Alright, let's grab... So I've just got a tiny bit of Black Templar. And we just want to work in... just some small dots. They don't have to all be like, you know, uniform and the same size. Like if we saw it, we just saw in our reference photos how kind of crazy all the patterns were. So they definitely don't have to be like insanely uniform, but what we don't want them to be, I think, is we don't want them to be sharp. We don't want them to have like obvious brush points, which might make using my kind of more fine-tipped brush a poor choice. I might grab something. Or maybe I should have a... Yeah, I'm using... Just kind of putting in a fair bit of... And they don't all need to be the same, like, saturation either. This will stop me from kind of overloading. Although the Dark Templar is actually going pretty dark, because it's such a small region. We might need... Oh. Yes, I'd like you to see the weird screen. Thanks, guys. You saw the magic behind the curtain. That's the special screen where all the stuff happens. I'm using a bigger brush now. I'm going to try a little stipple. Yeah, I think this might be the ticket. So stippling with a slightly larger brush and applying a little less. It breaks up the shapes a little and makes them feel maybe a little more natural if possible. Yeah, I feel like a kind of cross between a stipple and a gentle apply might be working better. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see how the contrast dries. I don't think we want them to all be the same size either. So getting a few like little dots kind of in and around the place. I know, it's a weird one. Because I guess our other option would be kind of like blending in a black and then kind of highlighting with greys and things. Just kind of going crazy down on this little foot here. Trying to give him lots of little bumps and dabs. Little stipples as we kind of just explore. I mean, it kind of looks quite cool from a distance. But yeah, it's an interesting little pattern. Because white and black are so stark, getting them to read on plastic as kind of natural fur is definitely a challenge. Wonder if we blended these with a bit of like a subtle dry brush over the top to help sort of blend them into the skin tone, but also it sort of might create like natural highlights and things where there would have been, you know, slightly lighter bits of fur being hit by the light and stuff. So I think that's enough. I've kind of got like, you know, coming down one leg. Might hit that leg as well, and maybe just down a little bit on this leg. And as the pigment's like running out on my brush, I'm sort of doing the ones closest to the white region, like we're making a subtle change. Alright, so that's like our first attempt at Appaloosa. It's not terrible. I think you could definitely do some cool stuff with that. It is difficult. Yeah, that's the thing. But it is a little bit of a polka dot kind of vibe. They are sort of polka dot. I'll see if I can blend them a bit. They're like Dalmatians. It's crazy. Now let's see if I can kind of blend this just gently. Need to take a little bit more off the brush. Just a little dry brush. Just to kind of be like, alright, so any of the polka dots that are on the top of the muscles are going to be a little lighter. Oh, that's hilarious. Look how much better that looks. With just a subtle dry brush to blend, like, it doesn't feel like black paint sitting on white model now. Man, I'm surprised by how much of a difference that made. That looks really cool now. I'm super glad I tried that. That looks great. Dude, how good is that? I'm shocked by just that little blending overbrush. And you can really go to town on part of it too and like proper blend some of them out so you can almost not see them. That is very cool. Well, there we go. I think I just discovered a new little technique for some horsey boys. Definitely going to have a few of those. And even if it's just like a technique that you do on part of a model, you don't have to do all of it. I might have gone a little too hard now, but just like the more you knock it back, the more natural it looks. I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, God. You think I'm overexposed, like, you know, I can't really see. Yeah, I'll just bring it right in close for a sec. So you guys can see. I don't know, it's sort of, I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera how, like, sort of nicely blended it is, but it actually looks pretty great. Yeah, that's a really, really cool point. Rich says the black would definitely be brushed in the direction of the fur grows. Yeah, that's really cool, like kind of getting that kind of feeling of the way the fur's going. Yeah, essentially they're Dalmatians, Kieran. That's right, Dalmatian horsies. That's what Appaloosas kind of look like. So yeah, I don't know. Can I get that any closer? Is that reading? You can sort of see it there. It's just a lot more subtle once it's been brushed back. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. Little technique discovered. Now we're going to try and do this pinto. So the pinto is trickier, and the way that James has it in his guide is that you got to use thinned down paints to like block out your patterning first. So luckily, just by, you know, leaving paint on my palette, we can get some pretty thinned down stuff. So let's open this back up so you guys can see down here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make some shapes. We're just going to go for it. Whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to absolutely wing it. Using a very crappy brush, which is probably bad, because I'm not going to have a great deal of control with that. There we go, just right up. Don't worry about the saddles for now, who cares? Saddles can be dealt with at a later date. And we're just outlining some cool horsey patterns. Let's fix this one up. Keeping the edges relatively smooth. Oh, it's getting a bit too thin now. I'm just kind of grabbing like random browns that are in my palette. Not really sure what browns they were or what they were mixed from. And it's quite nice to do it over different, you know, highlights and recesses, because then when we do our shading and stuff, we'll get all of that natural toning on those too. Oh, this looks pretty cool. Like, it doesn't right now, but I can sort of tell where this is going to go. And it's going to be pretty cool. I think it's really nice to have bits kind of underneath the saddlery and stuff, kind of popping in and out behind the straps. Makes it feel very authentic. Again, we're not worrying about the saddles and straps or anything yet. Thank you for trying to convince me to do this, James. This is super cool. He was like, make sure you do pinto. really cool. So I'm just thickening up the base coat as the thin stuff starts to dry. Just so that there's a nice even colour. But even like a little bit of separation's just not really an issue. Might just put a little bit on this dude. This dude's foot down here. Hit a bit there. Don't like how rounded that is. Let's de-evenify that. Alright. That's probably a little too rounded as well, actually. But anyway, it's fine. Well, I'm happy with that top one. This back one at the back. It looks okay. Looks okay. Alright, cool. So that's the beginning of our Pinto. Now we will let that dry and then get an even coat. Then I think we blend a highlight. Kieran says, post some photos later, please. Yeah, I'll post a little updated snap in the chat, in the Facebook thread. What am I trying to say? In the Facebook group, we have a thread. That is where I will post it. The downside of painting white horses is they get so overexposed by lamps. So that's our base coat down on the Pinto. Back down to 6.3, 7.1. Alright. Let's have a quick look at James's advice on the scheme. Pinto. So, yeah. So we're gonna get that a good even coverage. Then we're gonna hit those regions with Agrax Earthshade, which will be quite controlled, and then re-highlight them. So I'm pretty happy with that application. Maybe just a little bit more in... Whoops, wrong brush. That's my loaded Pinto brush. Oh, it doesn't have any bloody brown left on it. I don't even know what this brown is. I think it's a mix of Rhinox hide and leather brown that might have separated with some dark flesh tone. Just pooling in a fold on the palette. Give that a little bit more of a solid work over. So James, with this one, you shade before the highlight with the Pintos. Just noticed on some of them oh that's right, because the others had layers. Yeah. Okay, cool, I gotcha. I was a bit sloppy, but that's fine. This is really fun. I reckon this would look really cool under a cream as well. Like under a lighter version of this. Cool, so 6 horses finished, 1 horse on the way, and then we have Theoden. So it's 10:35. Maybe what we'll do is we'll save Theoden's sexy horse for some when we're painting up Aemma's, and we'll show off a big beautiful double horse action there. But essentially, what would be our steps if we were going to do some light stuff? So James has got his kind of guide here for doing white. So he does the prime in white, and then kind of base coats in Ulthuan Grey. So this is kind of like that technique we used with the light grey we did at the beginning of the stream, which is where you bring in a recessed shade, and we go through and pick out all of those darker recesses, and then you can see on these regions here, there's that very subtle accent with the lighter white. So that is kind of his more nice, sexy, layered way of doing white horses. It's a little grey. Like, I reckon I feel like you could even layer that example a little lighter and bring in, because those highlights are the white scar highlights. So maybe the base coat of Ulthuan Grey could have a little white scar mixed through it to kind of elevate it a bit if you wanted a lighter breed, or if you want that kind of nice mid-tone white horse. That's kind of a similar white to what we achieve with our dirty white scheme. In terms of tone, but not finish. Obviously, it's a much nicer finish. So I won't bother doing Theoden now, because it's effectively the exact same process as this grey horse we did, but you're just changing the tones, where we recessed, shaded, did the layered highlights, all that kind of stuff. But then we will end up painting Theoden again on a future stream, so we will see him. And then we just have this guy to do, so he just needs a little bit of his Agrax Earthshade. And then a subtle layer, and he is finito. And then we have quite a collection of cool horses. I'm really happy with how we've managed to turn out. Can you not see that? Yes, Snowmane is Theoden's horse. You guys can see, can't you? Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, good. Just my stream lagging out there. Liam spooked me. Alright, so I'm going to bring in a little bit of Agrax on these Pintos. Probably rushing this a tad. But it's all about keeping the Agrax just to that region. We don't want to spill the Agrax over the white. But it gives us that recessed definition. Which is really important, because then it doesn't just look like painted. It will actually look like part of the horse and part of the fur, because it'll have the same highlight profile as those parts of the model, particularly on these like really large, broad ones. Very important to get a decent helping of Agrax to accent those recesses. Which is why it's important to, you know, have some of your Pinto parts cross the recesses. Really helps sell the look, I think. Is that all of them? A little bit more down into him. Maybe he'll be a little bit braver with that guy. Beautiful. Cool. Alright, so once that Agrax is dry, then we put down a layer highlight. But we won't do that now, because I am going to swing around on into battle report mode. So I'm going to swing the camera off for a second, throw you guys to the holding screen while I rip our paints out of the way. But before we do, let's have a quick look at everything we've finished today. So this was our sexy black horse. No, I can't. I'm blind. That is our dark brown horse. A couple of layered highlights and a nice wash to get a really muted dark brown. And once you get all the saddlery down on that, that'll pop nicely. Then we had our kind of lighter brown, which almost went to a bit of a kind of darkened tan, which again was just, yeah, some Agrax Earthshade, some layered highlights. We applied the highlight after the shade with this one to keep the highlight a little cleaner, which helped keep that kind of brighter sandy tone. Then we had our super simple tan boy, these bright horses, who was, yeah, just really skeleton horde, bit of an overbrush highlight, super easy. So you can see how when you just bang down a couple of these, get a couple of these techniques, do them all in batches, you can get a horde of horses painted very quickly. Then we've got Black Templar with the simple grey highlights. Then our whites with our Appaloosa and our Pinto. Coming together really nicely. And I feel like these are the kinds of things that you use sporadically. You blend in with other elements. You could have Pinto and Appaloosa blended. That'd be really cool. And then we had our grey, who we started with, which was some blended greys. And some recessed shading. So there we go. That is our little horsey horde for today. And now I'm going to swing on the camera. Brushstroke is off to bed. Thank you for watching, James. And make sure you guys do go and check out all his horsey guides that we relied a lot on today. And we will see you guys very soon. And I'm just going to go and grab the battle report, move these paints, and I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. See you real soon. Oh, actually, before I go, you have there is a question a decision to be made by the chat. Saruman or Gandalf. So what I'm going to get you guys to do is I want you to say the name of who you want me to control. So do you want Lockie to be Gandalf or Saruman? Because then you guys in the chat are getting the other one. So, Gandalf or Saruman? Back soon. Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for that slight delay. There is a cardboard gaming board that comes with the Best of White Dwarf Fellowship of the Ring edition that you can use for this Orthanc game. And I swear I had it here somewhere, and I couldn't find it anyway, but we're just going to use the one from the magazine. I just taped it to the desk to make it work. And wherever I've put it is also where I put the Saruman model. So Lurtz is going to be standing in today, because we haven't painted up Saruman. Weirdly, this game comes before Saruman, who gets painted up in like 2 issues' time. So Lurtz is going to be standing in for today, so we don't have to use my unpainted Saruman model. And we have got a cracker of a game today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the rules to you. And essentially, it's a very simple game. The wizards are exactly the same. And it's a series of turns. The first thing you do is you roll for priority to see which wizard goes first, just like in SBG. And then you can... you get to select an attack and a defense secretly, and then you reveal those, and then you see how they interact. So, essentially, there are 2 types of damage that is dealt. There is push, and there is crush. Push damage doesn't actually deal you any wounds, it just moves you on the board in a straight line. So, if you get moved... you get, say you take 3 push damage, that means your wizard has to go backwards 3 spaces. Whereas crush damage doesn't move you, but it just does you straight wounds. So each wizard has 15 wounds, and the idea is to kill each other. Now, of course, the way you deal damage with push damage is if you push each other against a wall. So if Gandalf, say, is where he is right now, let me swing my mic over. If Gandalf was where he was right now, and Gandalf and Lurtz, or Saruman in this case, was right next to him, and he dealt 3 push damage, Gandalf wouldn't be able to go back those 3 spaces, so then he would take 3 wounds. So that's how you deal each other the wounds. So each turn, you secretly select an attack. There is whack, slam, bang, and smash. Whack does 3 push damage. So that would be 1, 2, 3, moving him back 3. Slam does 2 push, so that would push him back 2, and then take a wound off with 1 crush. Bang does 1 push and 2 crush. And smash does 3 crush, so just straight 3 wounds. Now you also get to secretly select a defense, so it's like the wizard holding up their staff. So each time you select an attack, you select a defense. You can select stop, no, or shield. Stop will stop all push damage from your opponent's attack. Defense will stop all crush damage from your opponent's attack. And shield will stop push and crush by 1. So when you reveal your attacks, whoever has priority goes first. You compare the attack you've selected versus the defense they've selected, and then resolve how it works. So it's pretty simple. We'll do a couple of quick examples. So let's say we've rolled priority. Gandalf has priority this turn. We're going to say that Gandalf is choosing whack and stop. And we'll say that Saruman is using slam and no. So let's resolve that. So Gandalf, he chose whack, so he does 3 push damage. And Gandalf and Saruman stopped no, which only blocks crush. Which means that, seeming as Gandalf only did push damage, Saruman would take all 3 push damage. Now, if it had resolved the other way, Saruman had done slam, which is 2 push and 1 crush. And Gandalf had done stop, which is no push. So Gandalf wouldn't get pushed, but he would take the 1 crush damage, and then he would have taken 1 damage. And so that's the way that it resolves. Now, one thing I have remembered, I'll just peel up my game board for a moment, is we have to work out the, I think they can move 1 square. Just got to check their movement. The turn sequence. Move. The wizard who has priority for that turn can now move 1 space to any adjacent hex. The moving wizard cannot enter a hex containing the other wizard or the Palantir, so the Palantir is in the middle of the board. Unlike a normal battle game, only the wizard who has priority can move. That's the other big thing. So only the wizard with priority gets to make a single move, and they can move to any adjacent hex. In the first turn, priority automatically goes to Saruman. In the subsequent turn, we do a roll-off. and obviously it swings on a tie. And then after move, we do our selecting attacks. And then we execute the attacks. Now, the other special bonus is the Palantir. If a wizard is in a hex adjacent to the Palantir, so the Palantir is in the middle here, so any of these hexes, and his opponent isn't, he benefits from the precognitive powers of the Seeing Stone. This means, just making sure that my audio's on, this means that his opponent must disclose the magical attacks that he has not selected for the turn. Oh man. Okay, that's gonna be like proper hard for us to simulate on the So I think what's gonna have to happen is it will work for me because I'll be able to tell you guys which ones I haven't chosen. But obviously you're gonna be like shouting your attacks at me, so I'm not sure how we're gonna resolve the Palantir for you guys in the chat. You guys might just have to get a bonus that I never get to use it against you because it won't work in a chat setup. So then we do execute attacks, and I think that's basically it. So we're going to set the game board up. We're going to set up our Saruman and our Gandalf, and now I've got to scroll back through the chat and quickly see who you guys actually chose for me to be while I was away. So I got you guys to shout who you wanted me to be. Alright. Where did this... Oh, man. Far out. You guys have been talking a lot while I was explaining that. Okay, so I'm seeing lots of Gandalfs. Gandalf, 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 Gandalf. Saruman, Saruman, Saruman. Gandalf, Saruman, Saruman. Saruman, Gandalf, Gandalf, Gandalf. Okay, I think the Gandalfs have got it. So you guys want me to be Gandalf. Alright, let's scroll back down to 100% Lockie should be Gandalf. Joel says, you do not know fear, Gandalf. You do not know pain, Gandalf. You do not know fear. You will taste man flesh. Okay. Alright, fantastic. So, hell yes. Alright, so you guys are Saruman. I'm gonna swing my microphone back over. So, Saruman gets priority for the first turn, so you guys get to move, so obviously you're just gonna start making a move. Oh, actually, now, we're using ranged attacks here. This is what happens when Lockie hasn't played this in a long time. Do you have to be next to each other to attack? I don't think so. I'll double check. Yeah, if they're in adjacent hexes instead, oh, so no, maybe you do have to be in... Damien, if you're in the chat, have mercy on my soul. In this game, wizards cannot choose to engage in hand-to-hand combat, even if they are in adjacent hexes. Instead, both wizards secretly choose an attack and defense from their spell chart. This can be done by placing a token such as dice on one attack box. Make sure we do this secretly. Blah, 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 blah. So that instead... Okay, so I think that means they can literally... No, you can attack each other. Yeah, you absolutely do not have to be next to each other. Look at the examples, Lockie. Alright, we're on it. Lockie remembers how to play. It's been like years since I played this. We're good. Okay, so Saruman is here. Gandalf is here. You guys have first turn priority automatically. And now it is time to start choosing attacks. Yeah, good. No, you don't have to be next to each other. I'm losing my mind here. So, the attacks that you've got to choose: whack, slam, bang, or smash, and stop, no, and shield. So what I want you guys in the chat to do is scream out whack, slam, bang, or smash, and stop, no, or shield. So everyone give like two options. It will be like whack, stop, slam, no, bang, shield, something like that. So hopefully you guys can read them. But I mean, it's not too hard to remember. And I'm going to secretly choose my attacks. What am I going to do? Okay, so I know. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm up against the wall, so it's kind of obvious what I have to do. Gandalf is up against it here. This is tough. Okay. Oh, wait, I'm Gandalf. I've got to be over there. Oh, this is a nightmare. Okay. Right, we got this. We got this. Alright, I'm going to do that one and that one. Okay, I should be using Gandalf dice. Okay, I've chosen my 3 attacks. I've chosen my attack and my defense, so you guys need to choose... Oh my god, you guys are firing them through. Okay, so we have... Oh, this is... Crikey. Okay, so we have slam, whack, stop, whack, bang, stop, whack. Okay, so it's definitely whack attack. It looks like whack and stop is the possible. Okay, so you guys are going for whack and stop. So, play with priority goes first. So you've obviously gone for 3 push with whack to try and hurt Gandalf. I'm going to reveal mine. I've gone for stop, no push, because I knew that you guys would do that. And you've gone, so 3 push, 0 crush, and I have no push. So you deal no damage to Gandalf. Sucked in, guys. I saw that coming. And I chose smash for my attack, which is 0 push, 3 crush. And you guys chose... What did you say? Whack stop? So you went for no push, you fools! Blam, blam, blam! Gandalf does 3 damage to Saruman. Alright. This is how we go. Alright, turn number 2, priority this time. Ooh, Saruman's got it again. He's just going to keep advancing towards that Palantir. You guys, let me know what your attacks are going to be. I am going to choose 2 Gandalf dice. I'm going to choose that one. And then I'm going to choose... that one. Okay, I've chosen mine. So, whack, slam, bang, or smash. And your defenses are stop, no, and shield. Alright, so, Tommy Marshall says slam, shield. So that would be 2 push, 1 crush. That's going for a bit more of a versatile attack. And then shield is going to block a bit of everything. We've got bang, stop. So that's, again, you guys are going for stopping all push damage. Slam shield, whack shield. Okay, you guys are definitely going for shield this time. We've got whack him again, boys, says Liam. So whack, 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 whack. Bang, 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 whack. It's tied between the bangs and the whacks. Whack shield. Alright, whack shield has got it. So I think more dice. You guys are going for whack and shield. So I will reveal my attacks. I have gone for bang and stop. So your attack resolves first. You're doing, once again, 3 push, 0 crush. And once again, I've gone for stop. So you do no damage to Gandalf. I didn't fall for your bluff. Gandalf will then return with 1 push and 2 crush. And you guys have gone for shield, which is -1 push and -1 crush. So you've definitely got the Palantir, right? So, you've stopped me from pushing you back, and you've taken away 1 crush, but I will still do 1 more damage to you, and so I have dealt Saruman 4 wounds now. So, I've definitely got the upper hand. You're on 4 wounds now, but Saruman has got the board control. So, let's do priority. A win for Saruman here would be very key. Oh, he gets it. Okay, Saruman is now officially on the Palantir, and I am still on the ropes here with Gandalf. So, Saruman's on the Palantir. That means I have to choose my 2 attacks and then reveal what what is it? I reveal one of the ones I haven't used. Okay, so I am going to... I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for that. Okay, so I've chosen my 2 attacks. I'm going to reveal one of my defensive die. I have not chosen shield. So I have not chosen -1 push and -1 crush. And I have not chosen... smash. I haven't gone for the one that does 3 crush damage. So I haven't chosen shield, and I haven't chosen smash. So, okay, let's see what you guys do. Okay, so people are saying, whack no. Whoa, whack no is popular. Where there's a whack, there's a way. You guys just want to whack Gandalf indefinitely. Okay, so where's the top? Let me count them. Keep whacking, whack him again, whack him again. Slams, whack no, whack no, whack no, bang stop, whack shield. Lockie, we don't need the Palantir. Whack, whack, whack. Okay, so we're definitely... There's a lot of you, and this is hard to keep track of. So which one's whack? Okay. So, whack no, smash no. We got to do smash. It's about tie between the whacks and the smashes. The next couple of votes will have it. And it looks like we want to do... No, no. Shield, shield. Stop. No, no, no. Okay, so it's definitely no. Okay, looks like whack no it is. Alright, so you've gone for 3 push damage. Let's reveal Gandalf's attacks. I made the huge mistake. I thought you guys had finally abandoned whack, and I went for no crush. So I take all of that push damage, and I can't move back 3 spaces. So Gandalf takes his first damage, a whopping 3 wounds. And I have done slam, which is 2 push 1 crush, and you guys have gone for no, which is no crush. So I do push you back off the Palantir. So that sort of works. I've re-established a bit of board control, but boy did I pay for it in wounds. Oh, that's painful. Okay, priority. Finally goes to Gandalf. Alright, Gandalf's on the move. You're off the Palantir, so I don't have to tell you shit now. And I am going to go... And let's go... Alright, alright. Alright, I've made my moves. I don't have to tell you anything. Where's... Okay, Ryan's tuning, so whack, whack, no, whack, gang. Okay, I'm... You guys are getting so predictable. It's the whack attack. Whack him again. One to simply not whack into Mordor. Okay, so... Yes, alright, I've got it. You're using whack. What defense do you want? No, stop, or shield? We've got no, stop, shield. No. You can't just whack no the entire game. You have to change it. Okay, looks like it's more whack no's. I've got priority though this time, so Gandalf will reveal his attacks. I've gone for smash, which is 0 push, 3 crush. Oh, god damn it. No. So you've gone for no crush. So my attack does nothing. And you went for whack, which was 3 push. I went for shield, which was -1 push, -1 crush. So I will move back 2 and take 1 damage because I can't make that final move. So, scores are level. Priority. Gandalf gets it again. Alright, Gandalf makes his move away from the wall. And... See, this is it. Are you going to go whack again, or are you going to switch it up to mess with me and deal him for 3 crush? Far out. Okay. Okay. Alright, I think I've got it. I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for that. And then I'm going to go for... that. Alright. Alright, I'm chosen. You guys have gone for... Where's... I've got to find out where do we just start from? Okay. Whack no, whack no, whack no, no creativity. Oh. Oh, that should have been 2 damage? No, I don't think so, because I had -1 because I had shield, so that -1 damage, and then I was able to retreat 1, and then I took 1 damage from not being able to make the move. So I should have, I think I was supposed to only take 1 damage there. So whack no, bang stop, whack no, whack no, whack no, whack shield, whack shield. Okay, it looks like you guys are changing it up. He won't think, he will think we won't whack. Whack, 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 whack. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of whack no's again, but there were also some whack shields. Yeah, there's enough whack shields to give it to whack shields. Okay, so you guys are going for whack shield. Whack shield. Alright. Let's reveal. Now, Gandalf has priority. I have gone for slam, which is 2 push and 1 crush. So you have gone -1 crush and -1 shield. So all I do is push Saruman back 1. And you have gone for whack, And I went for shield, so I'm taking another 2 push. I can move back 1 and then take 1 more damage. Oh, you guys are killing me. I started so well. Priority. 2. It goes to Saruman this time. That's really huge. That's bad for Gandalf. Okay, Saruman's on the move. Alright, choosing my next 2 attacks. What am I going to do here? What am I going to do? Alright. Alright, I'm chosen. I'm chosen. Let's go... so where were we? We're up to bang shield. So, bang, only the whack, keep whacking, slam stop, bang stop, use Letz's bow, smash shield, smash stop, smash stop. It looks like smash might actually have it. Why does this chart look like a Batman comic? Says James Kaywood. Yeah, I think smash stop has it. Finally, you guys are doing something that isn't whack. Alright. So you're going for smash stop. Oh, shit. Alright, Lurtz has priority. You've gone for 3 crush, and I have no push. Boom! Gandalf takes 3 damage. God damn it! And then Gandalf attacks back with a bang. I've done 1 push, 2 crush, and you've gone for no push. So I finally deal some damage and get you up to 6. Yeah, so I'm on 8 and you're on 6. And you've got better ball positioning. Alright, priority. It goes to Gandalf. Gandalf can leap forward and get off that damn wall. And this time I'm going like this. Alright. Okay, so Return of the Whack, says Sam. Whack again, whack no, whack no, whack no, whack 'em, sack 'em, whack no. Whack gang. Okay, so whack no is actually 100% universal consensus there. Oh, die, you bastards. Okay, so you've got priority. No, Gandalf had priority. So I've gone for smash, which is 0 push, 3 crush, and you've gone for no crush, so Gandalf does nothing. You've gone for 3 push, I've gone for no push, so you do nothing. So a neutral turn, no damage dealt. Priority. Goes to Gandalf again. Here we go, Gandalf. 1 away from the Palantir. Alright, I'm gonna choose... I'm gonna choose... that one. Okay. Alright, whacking right up. Where were we? Hell yes. Whack no, whack shield. This is whack. Hold strong, same again. Slam stop, bang stop. Hold them. That's a whacking, whack no, whack him again. Slam stop has got a fair bit. Whack stop. Yeah, I think we might go whack stop. That's a lot of whack stops I'm seeing across the various ones. So let's go whack and stop. Alright. Who had priority? Gandalf did, didn't he? So Gandalf goes first. I've gone for bang. 1 push, 2 crush. You've gone for stop. So you take no push, but 2 damage. Gandalf is in the lead now. You've gone for 3 push, and I've gone no push. Yes, Gandalf. A good turn. We got 2 sneaky damage there. Alright, priority. Ooh, it goes to Saruman. Goes to Saruman. Okay, so Gandalf, what am I going to do now? Gonna go that way, I think. Oh! Alright. Alright, I'm done. Okay. So, we've got Gandalf. Zorpazorp is getting cocky, says Tom. Sam says, try the whack bluff again. Smash shield, smash no. Do something different than whack. Okay, so it looks like smash shield, or smash no. Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we got a slam shield now. Which one's slam? Yeah, I think we got. You can't do smash and whack. All right, let's do smash shield. So smash shield, you've gone for smash and shield. Lurtz had priority. Oh, sorry, Saruman had priority. Oh man, I meant to shift it up too. I put on the wrong one. Alright, so you've gone for 3 crush, and I have gone for no push. 1, 2, 3. 3 damage to Daddy Gandalf. You've gone for shield, and I've gone for 2 push, 1 crush, so all I do is push you back 1. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Alright, what we're going to do is, let's roll priority. Gandalf needs to win this. Come on, Gandalf. Yes! Okay, Gandalf now has the Palantir. So what we're going to do this time is I am going to ban you from using some attacks. Because that's the same thing. So I'll randomly roll them. So you can't use smash. And you can't use shield. So this turn, you can't use smash. And you can't use shield. Now I still have to choose first. So I know that you can't do the big crush attack. So odds are you'll probably go for a push attack, because you can't do the big crush. And you can only stop full crush or full push. So you have to take the gamble here, and I have to kind of guess which way you're going to go. I think I'm going to go that way. Okay, that's mine chosen. So what are you guys going to go for? He didn't ban whack. Well, we better whack, boys. Whack, bang, stop, bang, stop. He expects us to push him further. Don't whack. Whack next turn. Let's do slam. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, so I'm taking it you guys don't want to whack. So it's between slam and bang. I can see a couple of slams. I can see more bangs. I can see a lot more bangs. So bang, stop, it looks like. Yeah, bang, stop we're going to go with. So you've gone for no push and 1 push, 2 crush. Interesting. So I have priority. I have gone for 3 push, 0 crush. You've gone for no push. Well done, guys. Well done. And you have gone for 1 push, 2 crush, and I've gone for no crush. I saw your bluff, and I get pushed back 1. Alright, that gets rid of the Palantir for now. And no damage was dealt. You just pushed me back a square. So Gandalf is still... Oh, I'm way hurt. I'm way behind. Come on, Lockie. Alright, so priority swings to Lurtz. He moves forward. I am going to... Alright, alright. Alright, I've chosen. You guys have got... So whack him now. Whack him now, they say. Whack, 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 no. This is all skill. Whackity whack, whack is back. Alright, I probably should have saw the whack coming in hindsight. Okay, so you guys are going for whack, and then... Smash, no. Slam, stop. Stop. No. It looks like it's a stop. A stop is winning, I think. Yep, stop. Alright, so you've gone for whack, stop. You've got priority. So you do 3 push, and I have blocked all crush. So 1, 2, 3. Gandalf takes a wound, and I'm all the way away from the Palantir. That was a big one for you guys, but I have gone for smash, and you've gone for stop. So 1, 2, 3 damage dealt to Lurtz. I lost some board control, but I traded it for some wounds. Priority time. Alright, it goes to Gandalf, which is good, because it means that you don't get the Palantir. That's important. So, I'm going to go back to choosing. I'm going to go for... Alright. That's me. This is a really fun little game. Okay, where's the top? Okay, whackity, whackity, whackity. Smash no, slam no. Whack again, whack shield, whack no, bang no. So lots of no's. Whack shield, whack shield, whack, whack. Whack no. Yeah, looks like whack shield is what you're going with. So whack shield. You've gone for 3 push. Who had priority? Gandalf did. So Gandalf's going to attack first. I've gone for bang, which is 1 push, 2 crush. So you minus 1 push and 1 crush. So you'll just take 1 crush. Oh no, I used the dice that was your wounds. I think you were 1 wound behind me, so you would have been on 11. So it takes you up to 12. Yeah, you had 11. Sweet, sweet. Thanks, James. And then you guys have gone for 3 push. And I've also gone for shield. So I move back 1 and then take 1 wound. So I'm up to 13. Ooh, it's a close game. It's a close game. Priority. Ooh, goes to bloody Lertzuman. And you are on the Palantir. So I am going to tell you that I am not going to use... Let me decide what I am going to use, and then I'll tell you what I won't. Oh, this is so hard. I've got to get you off that Palantir, but I don't know which one to use. Oh no! If you deal me 3 damage, I die. Oh! So basically, if I choose stop or no, and you go the other way, Gandalf is dead. Which kind of means I have to choose shield to guarantee myself to stay alive. Oh, okay. Okay. Alright. Right, so I gotta tell you which one I didn't choose. So, I have not chosen... Slam. I have not chosen Slam. And I have not chosen... Shield. I've taken a gamble. Alright, you guys are going for whack shield, smash stop. Okay, so do stop. Whack shield, smash shield, shield guys. Shield, no stop for you, Lucky. Okay, lots of shields. Yeah, 12. Okay, bang stop. Whack him again. Shield, smash shield, whack shield, smash stop, whack shield. I think the whack shields have it. I think... yeah, wax... I think wax shield just has it. So shield and... whack. Okay. So let's goes first. You've gone for whack. I took a gamble and I went stop. No damage to Gandalf. And I went for smash and you went for shield. So Lertz takes 2 damage. Lertz is on 14. Gandalf is on 13. But you do have the Palantir. I have got to get priority here or I'm screwed. Oh no! No! Alright, well, Lertz is probably going to have the priority for the rest of the game now. Okay. So, I'm in the exact same position. And I'm going to do... Oh man. This is such a... This is so bad. Alright. Oh, I don't know what to choose. Okay, I'm not going to choose shield. Once again, I'm going for the gamble. You have a 50-50 choice there. I'm gonna go for... Yeah, gotta get you off this goddamn Palantir. Okay. Alright. Alright, I've gone for it. Alright, you guys are going for... whack no, smash stop, whack, smash no, whack shield. Oh, this is hard to track. Heroic strength. Next turn, finish him the only way. Whack no. He knows we're gonna do whack. Whack no. Heroic strength. Shoot Boromir, guys. No. Oh, what a surprise. He's gonna bluff. Do smash. Smash no. Smash no. Whack no. Okay, I think you guys are pretty set on no. It's so close between whack and smash. I think whack has it again. Yeah, whack's got it again. Alright, Lertz, you got priority. So you're going for whack and no. Luckily, I've gone for stop. So no damage to Gandalf once again. You guys are too predictable. And I've gone for bang. 1 push, 2 crush. I thought you'd block all my crush, so I've just pushed you back at least once. So I've kind of got you away from the Palantir. Alright. Okie dokie, okie dokie. I just need to get like 2 damage on you. Alright, I am going for... okay. Oh, man. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Alright, I'm going to go for... Alright, I am telling you that I have not chosen... I can't. I have to, yeah. Alright, I have not chosen no. I've not chosen no, and I've not chosen, slam. Alright, smash stop. Where's the top? Alright, I'm losing my mind here tracking this. Go bang, he can't block both. Whack for victory. Bang, bang no, whack no, bang no, whack no. Smash stop, bang no, whack no. Slam shield, says Ryan. Whack for honor, stop doing the whack. Okay, I think smash has got it. It looks like smash no. Yeah, smash no. I don't remember what those are. So smash, oh god, smash is 3 crush. Smash no. What did I go for again? Okay, this could be bad. Oh, this could be bad. Okay, smash no. So you've got priority. Hang on a minute. Did we roll priority? Was should Lurtz have moved? Oh well, we'll see how we go. I think that's what it meant to be. Alright, so you have gone for smash, and I've gone for shield. -1 push and -1 crush. So I take 2 damage. Yeah, that was effective. And I've gone for whack, which is 3 push. 1, 2, 3. And you've gone for no crush. So, we are both on the edge of the board. I'm on 15 wounds. You're on 14 wounds. I need to deal you 2 to kill you. You need to deal me 1. Let's see who gets priority. Oh, it goes to Gandalf. Okay, so Gandalf is off the wall. So Gandalf has the better position to take push damage. So if I take 3 unblockable push damage, I'll still die. I don't have to tell you anything either, because the Palantir is gone. So, if I play shield, push damage could still kill me. If you went for full push. And crush damage, obviously, because I'll still take 2. So me being off the wall actually hasn't changed that much, because I'm on 1 wound. But if Lurtz had been off the wall, it would have made a huge difference, because you could have just shielded and automatically survived the turn. So, it's a 50-50 shot. If I shield, I die. Unless you go for something crafty, but probably I will die with 2 of these 3 options. So, I have to decide what I think you're gonna do. Oh man, I think Gandalf's dead. I don't have the nerves of steel for this. Okay, I've chosen my defense. Now, how am I gonna kill you? That's the big thing. I gotta deal you 2 damage. And I don't think I'm gonna survive 1 turn, so I think it's down to a 50-50. Oh, I don't know what way you're gonna go. If I survive and I don't do any damage this turn, that's the thing that sucks, is it's like, oh, I'm taking too long to the side. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. No, I'm not. I'm gonna do that. Okay. Oh, I don't know if I should have changed my mind. Okay, what are you choosing, guys? What are you choosing? Okay, Ryan says we can throw slam or bang and he's dead. Slam, slam, slam. Slam, stop. Whack, no. Slam, no. Slam, stop. Take your time to count. Slam, no. Do the whack. Can't win if he doesn't kill us, says Liam. Slam, no. I think slam, no's got it. I'll wait for a few more to come in. Yep. Slam, no, it is. And I can tell you right now, that's not a good result for Gandalf. It's not a good result. So you have gone for slam, 2 push, 1 crush. And I have gone no push, so I don't get pushed, and 1 crush. Oh man, that kills me. Oh dude, like all of them killed me. Well, I totally got my math wrong. Because all I had to do was take 1 damage of any type. So all you had to do was pick anyone that guaranteed 1 damage and I died. Yeah, I'm so stupid. I was always going to die. Anyway, I did bang, which was 1 push, 2 crush. You blocked the crush, so I deal you 1 push damage. So I have died with Saruman on 15 wounds. 15 wounds. Well, there we go. That was close. I got an early lead, but I absolutely got wrecked in that like early mid game, and then I kind of came back for a bit, and then you got back ahead again, and I just couldn't do it. Whacking the well has saved us, says Sam. Oh, that was mental. Oh, I had priority. Oh, that wouldn't have changed anything though. Oh, goodness me. That was brutal. That was brutal. Well, there we go, guys. That was awesome fun. That was a really cool little minigame. It's fun when we do these different minigames. Shakes things up a little bit as opposed to our traditional battle report. We don't have any giveaways today because, of course, we've just been painting up the horses. And they will be bundled up with our Riders of Rohan in next fortnight's installment. So, yeah, what are we doing next fortnight? Let's have a look, actually. We'll disassemble our board there. Now, where the hell is next fortnight's magazine? Oh, look at that. First one I opened. Oh, sorry. Let's zoom out a little bit. So, obviously we get our Riders of Rohan. We've got a fantastic little bit of information on those boys. We learn about cavalry. Finally, we're going to have cavalry in the game. How they work, shooting, thrown riders, mounting and dismounting, which of course doesn't really exist anymore. Except in narrative play. And then we have the attack at the ford. Ooh, very cool. The battlefield here. So we've got basically some Uruks and some riders and some warriors of Rohan doing some dishing the pain. It's a little bit of a Fords of Eisen kind of vibe. That should be very fun indeed. Very fun indeed. So there we have it, guys. That is our stream for today. So the thing I really liked about that game was just like the insane amount of involvement. That was really cool. It really involved you guys because it was so much simpler as opposed to like, you know, where do you want me to send these miniatures? What flank do you want me to attack? You know, that worked quite well. We might have to try and find some more of their little mini games to tee up. That was really, really cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, guys. I'm not going to swing the camera around so you can see my face, just for me to say goodbye, because we've got no giveaway, so you can say goodbye to my hand. And I will see you in a fortnight for issue number 15. We've got so much cool stuff. We're back on track now in terms of doing them in order now. So this one, we've got like a big little Rohan period here where we finish some riders off, we do Saruman, and then I guess at some point we need to do the special editions as well. So I don't know when we'll do those. We'll sort those out, because obviously the Fellowship of the Ring special edition, but we might save those till the very end. We'll see how we go. But yeah, so thank you so much for everyone for joining us. Make sure you go and check out James Collard's painting guides if you want to see some cool painting guides for horses over at Brushstroke. I've linked his YouTube channel down in the description below. And I will see you next time right here on Zorpazorp Gaming. Cheers, guys, and stay well over the next 2 weeks. Bye.